Nice.
Yeah.
Next Monday.
Tables, right?
You sing
everything. We do it live.
What did DJs even do?
Yeah, exactly. Do. Well, thank you, Max, for having us on.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you all. We miss you, Peter.
Man. Good work.
We miss Peter. Yeah.
Thanks, Toby. DJ, Papa.
Yes.
Boom. Come back for the debate panel or community panel if you guys want to too. Everyone, it's open. So you guys want to come back?
I'm old and tired. I'm going to go sleep. Maybe have a nosh. Maybe All right.
Perhaps.
Thank you very much.
That works too. Either way. All right. Thanks, guys.
Toby will represent us on the debate panel.
These are promises. I got stuff to do today yet. So
with the mustache.
Let's go. Let's go. We need to know. Let's go.
I'm against it. Whatever it is.
Speaking of let's go. Crypto King. Here we go. See you guys.
See you guys.
Years old, already reading fast. Gifted school couldn't hold him back. Special program, logic and code. Humble roots, but a genius mode. Dad fixed AC, delivered the news. Taught him to hustle, never to lose. Car stereo business, teenage dreams. Online platforms, building schemes. AC company, adult store too. Browser optimization, revenue flew. 60 million yearly, success so sweet. Semi-retired, but never complete. Reddit showed them bitcoins like blockchain future burning bright. Who is Richard Hart? He's taking control. Hex and post-chain, that's how he rolls. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Crypto revolution, he's the composer. Who is Richard Hart? The king of the scene. Building tomorrow with blockchain dreams. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Digital freedom, he's the bulldozer. First blockchain CD, Hex was born. High returns while others were torn. Post-chain launch, eco-friendly way. Post-X exchange, a brand new day. 27 million for research and health. Longevity research benefited from his wealth. Inspiring millions to break their chains. Financial freedom, healthy gains. Fighting scams with all his might. Protecting users, shining light. And Safe came knocking at his door, but he fought back and won the war. Who is Richard Hart? He's taking control. Hey, Hex and Pulse, crypto revolution, he's the composer. Who is Richard Hart? The king of the scene, building tomorrow with blockchain dreams. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Digital freedom, he's the bulldozer. Red notice came from Interpol's call. Finished claims, trying to make them fall. Tax fraud allegations, assault they say, but the system's broken. Games they play, business rivals using legal schemes. Crushing innovators, killing dreams. If haters wanted to get me down, they'd raise more than my 27 million crowns. Diamonds worth millions, watches and cars. DC allegations reach for the stars, but he denied it all. Stood his ground, blockchain freedom, that's what he found. Won in court, they didn't appeal. Justice served, victory real. Ecosystem vision, wallet and all. Independent blockchain standing tall. Bitcoin and Ethereum left behind. Community value, peace of mind. Richard Hart, he's taking control. Revolutionary leader, that's his role. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Second crypto wave, he's the composer. Who is Richard Hart? Controversial king, sparking debates. Freedom he brings. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Crypto's future, he's the takeover. Pivotal figure in digital space. Influential leader, setting the pace. Building community, advocacy strong. Richard Hart's story, the crypto song. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. I'm not fucking around, I'm here to take over. Don't look at me, I'm a ghost in the street with a red notice.
Neil for T-shares, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, Max. Appreciate you having me on. So, crypto macros, huh? That's what we're going to talk about.
Are you going to tell us about how it's all going to get so much better so quickly?
I wish. I'm not the bearer of bad news, but I'm a realist, and I'm looking at the macro on a global liquidity scale. That's kind of the point of this, because that affects all of crypto. It gives you crypto macros right there, and that's kind of where we're at. in the market. If you don't understand that, you're really not. It's not about hopium. We can all hope what we want, but at the end of the day, though, global liquidity is, and that global debt is driving all these risk-on assets, including crypto. And so I do have one chart I will share a little bit toward the end, but I'll kind of go through this whole thing. I got as concise as possible, but right now, yesterday was a bad day. Everybody knows the chart was terrible, and we bounced back last night, this morning. It was nice to see that bounce back, but right now there's a lot of factors involved in why we're down, and it's not just because of the cycle or whatever. All those things are true in some sense. You can see, if you zoom out on a Bitcoin chart, things are happening like they typically do. We understand that, but to say that, we're going to turn around overnight or have a big green candle tomorrow is probably not going to happen. And this is why. The global liquidity is under pressure right now. Meaning it's not sustainable at the rate it's at, and it needs to go up, and it will go up, though the macro factors that affect it going up are varied, and it starts in the East with China and Japan. And remember a couple weeks ago, the big scare about Japanese bonds and stuff like that. That's part of the issues. We are all interdependent nations, and the global economies buying and selling and trading debt is part of this issue. Right now, though, because where we are, the trend usually is for investors and investment class is they're going to start purchasing crypto at these lower rates. And this is probably why we had that bounce back last night, is now's the accumulation phase. Now, does this mean we're going to go up into the moon? No, but we'll probably end up chopping sideways, maybe taking a dip, especially if we have some strain on the global economies. Now, Japan is suffering from what it's having from the past because it printed a lot of money in the past, just as we did ourselves. In 2008, the U.S. went through its QE during the housing crisis, and we printed a lot of dollars. And so in doing so, we devalued the dollar during 2008 time because that was a big issue. But we added liquidity, and we ended up forcing down our debt liquidity ratio nationwide. Well, Japan did the same thing years ago, and now they're having to deal with that result of that action. And this is what happens with these cycles: is this debt liquidity issue is what we run into. And so Japan is now doing what they're doing, and China is about 15 years behind them with their own debt liquidity ratios and issues. And they're having to act now in order to prevent even further problems. And so they're having to deal with this in a different way. So what you see now is China is in a position that it's going to need to print more money to correct where it's at going forward. In the last 12 months, China printed China utilized $1.1 trillion US dollars into their own, and they took those US dollars as a form of debt and all, injected into their own financial markets. And so that is what was causing, this toward the end, a lot more, the yuan gold price to go up, which in turn then affected the global market and the gold price go up just last week or a week and a half, and it shot up to all-time highs in US dollar terms. And so if you think about, though, the buying power and the devaluation of the dollar in the past, like right around before COVID, what the gold price was then was around, 1,800, 2,000, something like that, if I recall correctly. And it's now in a $40-something $100 range. But we printed so many more dollars since then. So think about the reality that gold is really kind of getting to a point where it's probably valued correctly with the number of dollars that are in circulation, right? And that's what happens all the time. I mean, look how many dollars it took to have 1 ounce of gold back in 1908, right? It was a $20 gold piece for an ounce of gold. Now an ounce of gold is $40-something $100. Well, what happened? Well, the dollar's been devalued. We understand that. That's fractional reserve banking and printing money out of thin air and stuff with fiat currency. And that's why we're in crypto, to prevent that dollar value loss and valuation loss in our financial assets. Well, going back to Asia, if you think about what Asia is doing with both China and Japan and the other Asian markets, they're having to do what they can to survive. And so the sell-off of the Japanese bond market usually leads to this volatility, and which then affects the global bond market health, which drives all the government's decisions worldwide, even our own Fed. So now our own Fed is going to have to act based upon what China and Japan do globally. Now, all this is going to affect crypto in the macro because it is one of the reasons why gold's up and crypto's down. There's a lot of things going on with the global debt shuffling around with all these governments. They all want to survive and try to make it, but they're all going to be forced to print money eventually. Right now, the M2 global money supply is up, and that's a big deal, but it's not directly leading to more liquidity coming in to the U.S. market just yet. Therefore, more money coming in. Right now, we're experiencing results. Currently, the U.S. is experiencing results of the COVID policy that happened when they printed money then, too. All those government checks, that's when HEX ran up, and we had all these people doing all these stakes and all these things, maybe using some of that money for the pulse sacrifice and pulse-X sacrifice and stuff like that. And that was all, we all were in kind of a euphoria, but that was that led then to a retraction then, and then the prices turning and taking the dive, right? And so we are looking at, and back then also, if you remember, the interest rates were at 0 or below 0. It depends on where you were in the world. And that was unprecedented on any interest rate historical graph. You never saw interest rates at a negative ever, except during that time. And so the Fed was acting the way it did during then. And now we're having and we basically did all our debt back then, but now it's coming time now, and it was just in the news that we have to refinance that debt at a way higher rate than it was during then. And that's what's causing some of this constraints and problems with what the government has to do, what the Secretary of Treasury's had to make decisions on, the Fed, and all the people, not just in our government, but other governments are seeing and watching how we react. Because how we react will affect what they do also. Then we have to react again to, say, China and Japan's actions. So it's a very convoluted mess that we're all in because of fiat, and how fiat is very volatile and it's easily devalued. And nobody wants a bank run, and nobody wants a currency collapse. So they're all trying to basically keep the house of cards from crumbling on a fiat terms by moving and shuffling around this debt. Now, for crypto to go up though, and for us to get out of the slump we're in, it's going to take several macro factors, and these factors are going to need to be the money printer being turned on, not just in the U.S. but worldwide. But for us, at least the U.S. will be the leading driving force. But that money printer turning on is only one part of the issue. You turn a money printer on, that's fine, but that really is only going to affect or really do good for those who are in the investment class. The average person on the street, or the Main Street investor, he needs, though, more than that. He needs the dollar or his buying power to go up, or he needs more wages, higher wages, or better jobs. And right now, the U.S. government is doing that and doing the best they can to encourage manufacturing. But in doing so, they're having to drop the buying power of the U.S. dollar, making it weaker compared to other currencies, to increase export growth worldwide, which is fine for job growth and stuff. But it's not an immediate correlation or correction to the current crypto market. And it's going to take time for the money printer turning on, the manufacturing jobs to come in, and people work, build out these tools and build out these facilities, and then start producing whatever these goods and services we're producing, mostly goods and components and stuff like that, to then export to the world. Now it'll take time, at least 6 months, to get a lot of that stuff going, and for the exports to pick up, and then all the tariffs and all the stuff that the government, the current administration is doing, to trickle in. Then Main Street will have money in his pocket to invest. And if when they turn a money printer on simultaneously through all these processes, then we should see crypto turn around and do what it did in the past with the growth. Now, how much and when exactly you're going to have the euphoria phase, that's unknown. But you're going to have a major economic shift globally to make this be another crypto bull run. And we're still not there yet on a global macroeconomic level. It's just we don't quite have all the ducks in a row. We need better stability. We need better financial support and foundation in the U.S. And at the end of the day, without a healthy economy, there's really no capital to distribute to any investment asset class, unless you're already in that in the hierarchy of the upper financial hierarchies of the Goldman Sachs, Berkshire Hathaway, stuff like that. Those guys always stay rich and get richer, no matter what happens. They just shift their money around. But for us, the small Main Street investor, we're having to struggle, and we're basically taking it on the chin with this with the games being played, and these games are only being played because of the deficiency that is in fiat dollars being printed out of thin air. So I'm going to share this screen here, kind of where show you something. This one chart. All right, so this is the I got this from McClellan. This is the 2-year T-note yield and the Fed's funding target. And let's look back in history. So some of us who were old enough to remember some of the stuff during the 90s and the tech boom, what was going on. And the green is a T-note yield and how it moves, 2-year T-note, and then the Fed's funding target typically tracks this. This is interesting data because you can see where it diverges. Like right up here in the 90s, there was a fall off, and they had to drop the interest rates because the note yield fell off as well, right? And this is all, the notes are all traded in secondary markets as well. So there's a lot going on what the government does with these yields. And the Fed needs to target and track this yield. Then we can see that effect, what it has then on the economy. So when Greenspan was in charge, he got down here and started, pushing up. And we remember from 2004 to 2008 housing crisis, or at the housing crisis point, we had that big boom. And I remember myself, I was able to buy a house at 0% interest. It was ridiculous back in around 2004 when this was happening. And so me and other people, we were on the receiving end of good fortune, but it was unsustainable because how the markets and how the Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac did their lending, it caused that housing bubble. So that at the end of 2007, early 2008, when the bubble hit, boom, then the crash happened again. And that's when they injected, all that stuff. Then we had this from 2010 to 2016, this fueling everything bubble. We all kind of chopped sideways for a while. It was kind of stable, and that's a long time compared to everything else. That's a very long time of stability. Now, some of this was done and contrived through machinations of the government, how they manipulated the systems, but it was something that was kind of consistent. Then the COVID crash, as it came from 2016 to 2019, we had that same T-note going up, and then the divergence from the Fed's target, and then they missed it, and we had to crash again. Printed more money during then. The dollar was devalued. Though crypto went up, right, at these points. And here too, when Bitcoin topped again, this is where it was. And now we're going back down, and the Fed and right now the Fed and at least as of the end of last year, the chart and the T-note yield were kind of on target. But more than likely, we're coming to another scenario like this. Again, we have this downward trend and an upward trend. The one thing we don't know is how long or how we will chop sideways. And that's where the unknown is. Nobody can really predict because there's a lot of factors involved. So if you're looking for crypto to go up in like really up a lot in a very short amount of time, it's probably not going to happen. So now's the time you accumulate your assets and really you pick up all these good prices. Because right now I'm not saying anything or any economic factors that would just cause crypto to pop off with the current issues with global debt and global liquidity. So that's kind of where we are right now. And I wish I was a bearer of better news, but this is the reality of where we are in the economy. We're probably going to start chopping sideways shortly. I think when we get the new Fed chair installed, that'll change a few things. But he can't drop the interest rates just to zero again to have this zero interest thing like we had back here. It's not probably going to work. It's unsustainable and really won't work. He may drop it a little bit, but they have other things they're trying to do. Because you got to realize Wall Street still needs that capital injection from the Fed to keep its yields up and stuff to satisfy their customers as well. Even though the current administration wants to help Main Street, Wall Street still is the leading indicator and pusher of investment, right? Not just investment in just for speculative things, but also investment in manufacturing, investment in goods and services too. So these are things that have to be considered in a crypto outlook and macro. So that's about all I have as far as that goes, as far as where we're heading, what to expect in the near term. But I would say that right now is time to accumulate. So I know we're taking a hit as Pulse Chain. We're down a lot, but so is everything else. And use the tools that are out there. Pulse Chain's got a lot of good DeFi products. Use them. bring fresh capital in. If you have any available, build your bags and get them ready, because when this thing does pop off, you'll be a lot better positioned when the bull run actually kicks off, because it's right now we're still repressed, and there's a lot more factors than just what that our current administration will do. It's still a global economy, and we are then subject to the global economic winds as they blow whichever direction they decide. All right, Max, you got it. But anyway, yeah, that's where we're at though in the economy. I don't know. I know everybody was hoping for more, but this is where we are. So whatever asset class you're looking for, whether you're looking to even invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, I mean, I would say now is where a lot of these institutions are starting to pick up some of these things relatively expensively. It makes a lot of sense, and I think that's why we saw that V-shaped recovery for a moment on this, last night and this morning, because Bitcoin's now back over 70,000 at the moment. And we wicked down all the way to 59,000 on that sell wick. Was bought back up pretty quickly on my 4-hour chart here. So, but yeah, just now's the time to accumulate, people, and don't miss out. I mean, prices are cheap. I mean, you'll never get. Look, you can get a lot of pulse X really, really cheap right now. A lot.
Yeah, what do you think? I saw Buck had a tweet. Let me share real quick. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, Buck had a tweet. If you have a medium or long-term belief in crypto, now seems like a good place to begin to think about starting to DCA back in.
Correct. That's the sentiment right now. I would think not just for the us as pulsing people, but I think the sentiment is going to be there for the greater crypto investment class. Not necessarily individuals per se, but even the some of the larger institutions. They're going to look, now's the time, because from 120,000 to 70, that's a pretty good discount on Bitcoin, right? And from around 4,800 or whatever to 1,900 for Ethereum. I mean, that's that's easy. They easily think that the price can go right back up to those levels, and it's a safe play. I would imagine you'll start seeing a lot more accumulation, but not very quickly. Probably a slow accumulation. They'll watch the market. But look, Tom Lee and Saylor just bought, and they got dumped on, right? By others like Vitalik and whoever else is dumping. And part of this is also being fueled by ETFs too. There's a lot of, now we have so many ETFs available. I think that is affecting how the markets move. Whereas it used to be when you bought a Bitcoin, you bought it off the chart and the chart moved up. Well, not anymore. Right? The ETFs, you're buying paper Bitcoin. That's not pushing the charts. And though it brings for a lot of government clarity and regulation coming in, allowing banks to feel comfortable, it's also a fractional reserve Bitcoin. So it's not real Bitcoin anymore. So it's not being moved by people buying a token. Going Goldman Sachs puts it in your retirement portfolio. Guess what? They're not buying real Bitcoin and storing it in a private key somewhere. They're buying a paper Bitcoin that's bought off an exchange, and Bitcoin's price is not being affected.
Oh man, 2026. Come on, 2026.
Right.
We'll get to. I'll save a couple of the topics for the debate panel. Sure. It looks like me, you, and Fast, but it should be fun. Quick transition. We'll get into that. Neil, thank you for the update. Appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, man. No problem.
We'll be right back.
Hey, boys.
And I'm muted.
Yeah.
I made it. We're back. We're back.
Hey, guys.
Oh, are any of you specifically interested in debating specific topics? I got a couple to go through. I got some suggested ones, but is anything out there in the community you can think of that is just like, all right, people want to know more about this particular thing? You make anything off the top of your head? Chat, you can help us out too.
I got an opinion on ProveX about as a thing in the market. Well, I can talk about, and Fast may agree with me. I don't know if it's a disagreement. It's just something I've noticed about ProveX itself as a technology and what its potentials are. And I would say this, that for it, the token, I ain't talking about the token price, I'm talking about the technology itself. For it to gain adoption and use case, you need two things. Obviously, the products come out, don't get me wrong, but for it to get adoption by more than just us in Pulse Chain and a handful of people from other chains that are the average retail user, somebody's going to need to go out and shake hands and do business with other institutional groups, banks, mortgage lenders, et cetera, all the different things who want a escrow style service with anonymity and all those things, and put together business deals to utilize the technology, whether it's only on Pulse Chain or it's on other chains too. It doesn't matter how that's done. You're going to need somebody spending time and money putting out together business deals to get people to utilize the technology and adopt it, and then help them set up the infrastructure they need to facilitate these type of escrow services that ProveX and this other use cases as well. So that's kind of where I'm thinking is, for it to be successful as a tech, it needs to have more than just us talking about it on YouTube. It needs real world business handshake deals in offices, in ivory towers, doing the deals to push the technology and its use case forward.
Maybe that's the framing then, is can ProveX be successful in the decentralized manner that, what we've been doing for a while, everyone kind of just like spinning up their own groups, doing, again, maybe making those business deals, but creating their own organizations or their own teams, their own products built on it to do that? Or does it need Richard or the devs to go, start making partnerships and all that stuff too? Is that the framing?
Yeah, pretty much. I think only relying on the decentralized version or just us as users, even Richard himself or a handful of people with who want some privacy, that's just not enough. If you really want adoption, you're going to have to get out there and rub elbows with TradFi. It's just in real world business, brick and mortar institutions. That's just the only way it's going to work. It can't only be decentralized and then be super successful. It can be somewhat successful, don't get me wrong, but it needs more than just us. Or just the crypto markets, if it's being marketed as something that is outside of crypto use case.
I cannot see.
I disagree. I think that's not up to Richard or the OA to facilitate those deals. I think people can build on top of ProveX. And the teams that build on top of ProveX can be the ones who go out and shake hands and kiss babies to make deals with Netflix to have their subscribing service run through ProveX, right? So it can be like value added stuff. Like this is an infrastructure layer, not an app, that just, where you just buy and sell. So if that infrastructure layer is strong enough, other teams should want to come and build on it and, add on their additional little fee to, do subscriptions, to do insurance, to do ID verification, like all those things. If we have a strong infrastructure layer, can happen in a decentralized manner by each separate team with their each little niche, going out into the world and making those business deals you're talking about.
I would say though, but for those teams though to be interested, somebody's got to spur them on. Yeah, that's my thing. It's like somebody's gonna be out there. Hey, team, and I ain't say Richard or even his devs, but whoever that people are, whether it's us saying, hey, Mr. Business Person, you have this business. Here's an infrastructure layer you could consider utilizing to make it more profitable, more secure, whatever. But without somebody going outside, that falls
within the lines of what we usually do, right? Like we talk about our stuff, and if we talk about the stuff well enough, and people who like money will come to get money by building on top of said stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
So think about like the core promise of ProveX, right? Of connecting Web 2 with Web 3. And there's nothing specifically in any of the documents, or, that Richard said that won't mean that this isn't available on multiple chains. I think that's very likely, right? So you have this thing, it's on Pulse chain. Maybe it also works on Ethereum and Polygon and, everywhere else. And so like, somebody who's like, okay, we have this idea to run insurance through crypto. Okay, here's the tool. This is where we start. This saves us infrastructure costs. This saves us, all these things. So from a money perspective, they'll be like, okay, it's cheaper, better, faster to start here, guaranteed community, which is one of the big things we bring to the table, and versus, them trying to run up everything from scratch, going to an untrusted source, all those things, right? So, I think if done properly as an infrastructure layer, it'll have enough to offer that people will come and build on it.
I think it will go. I can't imagine seeing Richard or the devs or otherwise just being like, hey, we did a partnership with these people, or hey, they're going to promote this thing, or I don't know. Again, that could happen, but I think it's more likely that what has been happening will happen, which is people see the tech, they see the product, they see whatever it is, and they start building on it, and then they start forming their own companies, their own partnerships, their own businesses, like whatever around it, whatever group, and then it grows from there. So it's much more of a decentralized grassroots, like okay, you have a product, let people build on it. Then I could see again Richard shaking hands with Vitalik or Brian Armstrong, or I don't know, doing some press conference with McDonald's or something. I could see just the community building up.
I disagree with that statement. I think we've seen in the past that Richard Hart has changed his worldview on things like meme coins. Like he launched Pump.tires. Like he was always against meme coins, and then something happened and he started selling not selling, he showed us Pump.tires, and we used it and it did something good. So in this case, I could see it being possible that Richard and his dev team change the pattern, right? Which would totally blow everybody away and start making real world business deals. Maybe even like having a staff that makes deals. Kind of like what Neil was just talking about. Great ideas, Neil. And that could really change the scenario. Like if Richard Hart phones you, if you have a billionaire on the phone who wants to make a deal, you pick up the call. So I think probably people would pick up that call and they would make a deal with Richard Hart.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think there's some things he could change his mind on, but it seems to be all the stuff I've seen before. He likes to be in control and power, have the ability, whether, if it's not decentralized supply, getting part of the supply, like you could, stuff like that. I don't know I feel like giving away, I don't know. I feel like he's been beaten down a lot with all the stuff and all the stuff that's been happening where, I don't know. I can't see him being like, okay, I'm going to do a partnership. I'm going to put myself in a position where I don't have, control over this or that, because you give away a little bit. When you do that, you give away part of the flexibility, part of the control of
he can still be the boss though, like it's just, you get more done with more people sometimes. And I think that's something we've struggled with in,
his people, that's the part. Years. His people, they got to work for him. I don't think there'll be a peer-to-peer.
Sure. Oh, exactly that. Yeah. Thing. Like he could hire the people to do the job, right? Because like Neil said, there's a job to be done, a specific job. Maybe not the job that Richard's best at, so maybe not his best use of time, but knocking on doors, shaking hands and making deals is, could be required. And if Richard's not going to do it, he might need someone else to.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have I know we don't have a Pulse Chain Foundation per se, but we had some entity like that Richard would be maybe overseeing, but that would do the deals that Richard would hire, maybe set these certain people up. They could go out and do the thing, and that's what we really need to grow and get the chain more adoption. We just need more reach. Now, obviously, he's not going to bend the knee to, because like he said in the very beginning, I'm not bending the knee to the ICO, VC crowd. He's never going to do that. We know that, but if the technology is just there and nobody can control it, but say Richard or his dev team and all, and it just does what it does, then it's just basically getting people to adopt it. So there's no risk in losing control or position. It's just, here's the tools I've built. Here's how you can affect you and increase your business profitability through whatever mechanisms they are. And then there you go. And all somebody has to do is say, look, here's prospectus. This is what we offer. This is how it affects your business. We will help you, even give you the tech to connect it. and now you can save money and have a better quality product for your clients and your customers. And that's really what you need to do, and go out and really sell that way, because the tech is supposed to be, there, and it's just going to be a trustless type thing that just runs in the background. There's no manipulation. It's just math solves it, as it says on the ProveX website.
I could see I think that's different than partnerships. So I think having an organization or supporting the community doing this and that, or having a full-time people that work for you that go out and do the marketing and sell the product and do all that stuff and make all those deals. It's got to be, I think Richard, I would be very surprised if he wasn't it's like at the top with him. And then, there's maybe people that work for him to do that stuff. But when I think of partnership, I think of there is a, peer-to-peer partnership, not this, hey, I have an organization that's going on getting on the ground doing work and they're being funded to do that stuff. So I could see that more.
Who's his peer, right? Like other billionaires, right? Like, would it really be that?
I don't think anyone is.
I
would debate that. I would debate that. There is no one who Richard. I don't think Richard considers anyone his peer.
Well, just I agree. He's 100% peerless. But let's use Elon Musk for an example. I know it's not quite Richard, but it's close. So let's say he makes a deal with Elon Musk, where like, okay, X subscriptions are paid for through ProveX, and X is one of the portals to use ProveX. Like, I think those are the kind of deals, like partnerships, that billionaires could make with other billionaires. That would probably benefit us overall. I've seen in the past, and it's not 100%, like I respect everyone, but like, sometimes when you're doing business, you're better off doing business with people who already have a lot of money, because they're not looking to squeak out nickel and dime every cent they can, right? They're looking at a bigger picture. So like, Richard makes a deal with Elon. Elon's the new ProveX partner, and we have ProveX portal via X. How does that sound?
I think that would be it would have to be very specific. And if there was a change in the way, because he's been going at it on his own, with his own people for a long time. So I don't know. I think, if there was an Elon deal on the table, I think, that could change, but I don't know. I don't foresee that happening. I don't foresee an X partnership with Pulse Chain, but I think growing everything from the ground up and having people in the community, because they're being rewarded, because they're much richer. If the price goes up, they feel much richer. They have much more money, much more motivation to go out and tell more people about it. Everyone else, if they have more money, they have more motivation to buy it and more appetite to get into crypto stuff. Like that kind of macro spiral could happen, where it just lines a lot of things up. But I don't think currently, I don't know. I don't see a partnership coming in that way, but foundations and funding people to get stuff done and all that, like a lot of founders and a lot of organizations and stuff do. I think, but it's community based. Like that's the thing. Like I think it all starts with the community, and again, it goes up to him as the founder. That's the way I think things are set up today. I don't see them changing that much, but I'd like to be pleasantly surprised.
There might be something to what you're saying in that, like there's already some foundation set up that I can, sort of draw lines to Richard with, and there's the RS Griffin Foundation that's handling the tablets. Then there's a new foundation not many people know about called the Blockchain Education Center. I believe there's links to it on the ProveX website. I think that's where I found it, and I think there's a connection there as well. So we might find that these foundations are already in place when they're needed. And, foundations can have employees. That is a thing. They can also have volunteers, I believe. So, we could find ourselves in a situation where the best people are doing the best work.
And Richard's a businessman too. I mean, he's a successful businessman. He's not just a crypto guy. So we can realize he's been in business for a long time, was over 20 years before he retired. So he knows how the game's played on a business level. And so, and he didn't make money just willy-nilly. I mean, he was very shrewd in how he did it, put in some position. So he knows how the game's played, and he knows how to market in a way that if he thinks he can do it, he can do it. Now, crypto itself is kind of funny. I know the whole outrage marketing thing with Pulse Chain and all, but when it comes to things like this that are you're offering a service, right? Infrastructure layered service to the industry at large, which is very, at least according to the ProveX website, very widespread use case. Right? A lot of different ways this can be utilized. That means there's a lot of people who can benefit. It's just a matter of getting in front of the right people, offering these services because they won't know about it. How many of those people are watching YouTube right now? Probably none of them, right? But you go, hey, look, we'll go and knock on your door, whatever it may be. Say, hey, look, we see you're struggling here. You're paying X number of fees to Visa, let's say, and you're getting you eat up in fees. Why don't you use this tool instead? It saves you a lot of money over time. Well, that's a good idea. I'll say 20% a year in those fees I'm paying. I'll gladly switch over. There you go. You got a customer. And then they tell their friends. And next thing you know, we get more adoption through whatever mechanism that may be, or how the infrastructure layer solves the problem that currently exists in the traditional finance world. So I thought about it earlier. I was talking to some of my guys about just real estate stuff. If the real estate's going to be tokenized eventually, then ProveX is ideal for it. Especially when you're looking at, for escrow accounts and money being sent over and stuff, it's ideal for that. The math proves it. It happens. The money was sent. It's done. It's provable. There's no need for an escrow service or spending, $100 to a lawyer just to hold a check and, make a deposit. That's unnecessary if you have ProveX. So that saves a lot of money on real estate transactions. Just like one example.
I could see it just as like we're seeing so many people getting tablets and handing them out and all that stuff. We could see a lot of people saying, hey, just part of whatever crew, whatever, organization, and just made a bunch of, just signed, 20 people up to use ProveX to do stuff. And yeah, totally see stuff like that. But again, I think that comes from the community. I don't think it'll be from partnership with Richard saying, hey, crypto guy, like now we're on Gemini and now you get to ProveX. I think it's more likely it'll be this pictures of people, again, showing the power of the community that we keep demonstrating over and over and over, no matter market conditions, of getting out, promoting it, the real marketing. And now if we actually have a product for people to use, then show them how to do it step by step. Here's a tablet. Let me put 1, 2, 3 on the tablet and show you, maybe the tablets will be iPads at that point. We'll be so rich. We'll be handing out literally iPads to people. And, they'll be like, no, don't turn on the Bluetooth. Then the Bluetooth conversation will come back.
Nice. iPads with the Bluetooth option removed. Yeah, I'm sure it can be done.
The Bluetooth. Yes.
The concept though that like Richard could go away from his cyberpunk tendencies and actually go pro, we could say, on ProveX. I think that shouldn't be ignored, right? Like, yeah, the cyberpunk thing's cool, but like sometimes you just need to hire people to get stuff done quickly and efficiently. And if you don't like them, you can fire them. Like, I think there is potential. He hasn't explored that avenue very much, from what I can see, or not recently anyway.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it'll be more. I could see it being people who, again, he's the boss and people who can fire and coordinate and have kind of like be the founder, right? Like it's gonna be the founder version of it, not just, hey, I'm going to do all these things and you guys eventually, just do whatever you want with it. And, we got these contracts. I don't know. Although there's been a bunch of stuff on the list, the exchange building thing, there's been the museum. I mean, I don't know. There could be, if things turned in a different direction, it could open a lot of things up where he wants to see where he wants to spend time. Come on, Sci-Vive. Sci-Vive in book print form.
Yeah, he's talked about that.
Mm-hmm. But I want to hit on this too. I did this poll yesterday. What comes next for Pulse Chain? I want to see what y'all think on this. I clicked our season, and I'm going to guess here, but I think of these three things, honestly, I think if it's going to happen, our season is going to happen before ProveX's product launch, not token launch, but product launch, and before a live stream. Is there any dissent?
I think we're going to see ProveX launch first.
Yeah,
before anything else, like the token, that is not necessarily the app. That could be longer. And then we're going to see Richard live stream and or pick up his video content to every second day or thereabouts, right? Like heavy video content, whether it's pre-recorded or it's a live stream, but like that's obviously his strength, right? When I look back on his marketing and his charisma works best for him. Like it's him on the screen saying what he's going to say. Works much better than him typing, and works much better than him just leaving it to the community. Though we've done a great job. So I think that, and then we get our season. But the timeline for all those things could be very short. It could be 3 consecutive days.
I would go with the other way around. I would say I would want to see us pumping before ProveX launch, like the actual product launch. Token could launch whenever, but I want to see us pumping and then launch, and then get some, let's get some 10, 20, 50Xs, and then a richer live stream, and then we head to glory. Like that's what I'd like to see.
So the question is, what makes our season our season? How does our season kick off? That's the question. Because if it's following the rest of the crypto market, it's going to lag just like the rest of the market. It can't move without a magical inflection of capital, right? Without that, we're still where we are.
Well,
so
it's a magical inflection of capital. Is that what you're wishing for there, Neil?
Well, that's
I know a guy who maybe has some capital.
But so the question is this: is our season going to be in parallel with the rest of the market, or are we going to be an anomaly away from the market as it moves with the global economy? Are we going to be the anomaly? Are we going to be the place to go before, and a place to go after, or a place to go during the middle, right? Because right now, we all know the SAC rate. SAC funds are down because Ethereum's down at a dollar amount. We know that. And is it wise to use those funds now? Let's say you did it today or tomorrow. What would happen to the capital if it was injected today or tomorrow? Richard's already called a sell pressure out to our faces. So it's like and everything he's done has been sold down because here we are at the bottom. So would he wait till there's a better stability in the system economically, not just in the global crypto markets of all the chains, especially crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum, to make his move so the sell pressure is not so intense on any move?
I don't think so. Like if everything's going up and Pulse Chain's going up too, and the reason was because the OE injected a bunch of funds, then sure, some people are happy, but if Pulse Chain is going up and everything else is going down, well, you'd really get some eyeballs then, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he talked about our season in the past, right? Our season being separate from other seasons. And I think that dynamic of even in the last week, and I when things are bad, I don't think it'd be good, but this last week, the past 5 to 7 days has been rough. People are starting to look around, right? They're picking their heads up. The Bitcoin maxis aren't as maxi. The Ethereum maxis aren't as maxi, right? So it's this is the time where you're Richard Hart's back. Pulse Chain is happening. People would they maybe be a little bit more open. We saw today, or maybe yesterday, we saw the one of the charges drop from the Interpol Red Notice. Maybe we see another charge drop, which will leave none left on the Interpol Red Notice. And then the whole dynamic changes overnight, right? So I feel like this stuff may be planned. The timing on a lot of things seems a little suspicious. And it could be okay, Bitcoin's still going down, Ethereum's going down, Pulse Chain's going up, everybody migrate to Pulse Chain. I'd like that narrative.
Oh yeah, me too. I would love to see that. So we're all on a wait and see list right now. What's the OA going to do is the question, right? And none of us really know. He's not going to telegraph. So therefore, all we can do is accumulate while you can, while the prices are low.
Another point to go over too is why should people care about ProveX? We talked about getting it to catch on, people using the tech, all that stuff. It kind of seems like it's one of those nerdy privacy things with a token, but also has this whole unlocking of onboarding and all these other pieces to the ecosystem. And there's no one here, I don't think, it's going to say, hey, ProveX is just useless and we don't need it and it's not going to do anything for Pulse Chain. Let me know if anyone wants to take that position. But I bet there are people out there who are saying, why can't my other tokens just go up? Why do we need this thing? What does it actually unlock? And I bring up this this infographic too, because I think it does talk about a few of those different pieces. But what do y'all say to people who are just I don't want ProveX. I don't want to use ProveX. I don't know why we need it. Like what is special about it that is going to like really, turn our season into mega our season if that's what you think is going to happen?
I'll take the position of we don't need ProveX. Yeah, I think it's like it's not necessary for us to go up. It's not necessary for like the evolution of pulse chain or for crypto in general, right? So it's an add-on, but the things we already have do what they do, right? Like we have PulseX as a buy and burn, we already have that, right? Like Hex has staking, right? We have like the incentive token, which could have unknown powers in the future. There's a lot of things on the go. We don't need this ProveX thing, but if we had it, it could be better.
I think it unlocks another utility layer to even if it's multi-chain, it still not unlocks another utility layer that bleeds into Pulse Chain through its valuation with ProveX and maybe the rest of the cores. So bringing utility to anything is, to me, is always a good thing, because just having a token that has no utility is like, okay, it's all speculation. So Bitcoin, it's store value only because people believe in it, but Ethereum has utility. Therefore, more people use it, per capita than Bitcoin, right? So maybe ProveX is a thing that brings utility to the chains in a way that we then, as Pulse Chain users, can benefit from that utility usage through, whether it's through a direct or indirect valuation with the ProveX token being bought and burnt and stuff like that. And I like the concept. I really do, as somebody who wants likes privacy and anonymity and also see potential, maybe building some stuff out in the future using ProveX myself. Like, well, that's pretty cool. I can use this tool to build out and build on top of and move forward in any other DeFi developments.
I think Max is right about that. Like there's there's the potential for this just to be seen as a geeky thing, right? Like ZK P2P, like how many people knew about that before Richard started talking about it? Like I think it's picked up lately, but like I think it's taken some time. So like there's a danger with ProveX that we could just make a new geeky toy that 6 guys use. So we have to make this cool. And it has to be practical, and it can't have like it can't have weird things that you need to do to participate. Like there can be weird things, but the core product should be simple enough that the average DeFi user can, get online, press like download the app, get it on the screen, and like be like, okay, I'm sending money from Ethereum to Pulse Chain, and I'm using this ProveX peer-to-peer thing, and that would be cool. But if it's like, yeah, if it's only the geeks, it might end up being just the 3 of us using it, which I don't think would probably be the win people are looking for.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Unless you guys have untold bags that I don't know about.
Well, I think that's one of the pieces that is missing that we haven't seen so far, that you could take the position on. Like anyone could take the position and say, hey, why would anyone, if it's going to be a MetaMask fork, if it's going to be another from scratch browser extension, if it's going to be a website portal, like whatever form it comes in. I think he's mentioned forking. He's mentioned the wallet thing, and he's also mentioned MetaMask. I keep saying MetaMask. Browser extension. I think browser extension, correct me if I'm wrong, that is seems to be the format that we're looking for it to be launched in. It's going to be like a browser extension. I think that's one of the ways he first described it. And I haven't seen a deviation. Anyone chat, let me know too. So if it is that, and you do need to download like a new thing to use it, and you connect it to the blockchain, all that stuff, what is going to make people do that? Like that's what I was I'll go back to real quick on the coming next. That's why I think our season, like if I were going to like want to see the things happen first in the order and all that stuff, pumping ProveX launch, everyone's excited, download it, use this amazing blockchain called Pulse Chain because everything's going great here. Macro, talk about that too. Are we going to pump without other things pumping, or be the only one pumping? Going to all pump together. Crypto's going to go up, like whatever. And then an RH live stream. I honestly on that I could also see RH live stream, because before he didn't just stream when things are going good. He streamed when things first started out. So it's not like it's not like a top signal if RH starts streaming. It almost seems like it's not a bottom signal either, but it's I don't know. Anyways, however that fits in. But what is going to make people excited to go download new software to use on their computer to do ProveX stuff and start doing proofs. And how are we going to make it easy enough to buy and sell and peer-to-peer? That to me seems to be the challenge and the thing that needs to get correct. Like, how do we make it easy enough for people to use it and like using it and actually go through the steps to use it?
I think there should be an incentive structure to use ProveX for the first 90 days or so. I think you should literally set it up to pay people on both sides, like buyers and sellers, to come use this. So, we know the sacrifice raised 16, 17 million dollars. A portion of that could maybe go towards incentives where you're paying buyers and you're paying sellers to come use this app for this period of time. And I think that should be widely publicized. And if they do that for 90 days, and I don't mean like bot arbitrage. There should be systems in place where that's not going to be what the main users are. But like if if there's some loss of funds as advertising to get 100,000 people to come use this thing for 90 days, if they use it once a day for 90 days, on day 91, a lot of them are not going to stop using it. They're going to have habits formed, and they're going to believe and understand and be comfortable with the software. So I think, there has to be a reason. You're right. And the reason should probably be money of why people would come use this. So, like there's the services it could offer. And if it comes out with a full suite, like with all the add-ons are already there, then maybe that'll be enough. But if it's a minimum viable product and there's, and people would have to build on top of it to be able to use it to pay for their Netflix subscription, for example, then I think there should be incentives, literal, cash incentives or equivalent, to get people to come use this thing for, at least 3 months to build that habit forming activity.
Now I know on the website it says it takes away the need for a centralized exchange. So maybe, if nothing else, the initial user class would be, hey, I want to buy whatever crypto. All I do is go to my go on my computer and get on my banking website, and it links to my banking website through whatever mechanism, and I send it, and I got crypto in my wallet now, and that's it, and I'm done. If that's a tech, then I see that's a wide use case just to save time, just bypassing all exchanges directed to my personal custody wallet. That would be for crypto people, that would be a big deal, right?
I agree, Neil. I just want to point out, I think that is probably the most compelling piece that I've seen, is to get people to download new software, do a new routine, do all the stuff, connect to a new blockchain. Does it make things easier for me? It's stuff I was already going to do, like to get money in the blockchain. Can I do that with ProveX in a private way? And and it works with Venmo, it works with whatever. That seems like a pretty compelling reason to use it. So.
Yep, that's why I'm
good, but it's going to require those deals that Neil was talking about. Somebody's got to call Venmo and be like, "Hey, hook up to this ProveX app." Like, we need to get out there to make it happen. It's not going to happen automatically.
Yeah, I mean, is it? I think it's Cash App. I think it's them. Allows you to buy Bitcoin or somehow through their. I think it's them. It's one of them that allows you to buy Bitcoin and stuff. It was kind of interesting. This is like 2 years ago too. They were doing that. So I know that these companies are looking at crypto as another revenue source. So so we know that, and then maybe once the government and all these politicians figure out what they're going to do with crypto and the Clarity Act and all that mess, they get that's a whole nother issue. But they'll get their heads at the rear ends, and we'll get this thing moving forward. We'll at least have some direction. We know where to go and build how we're going to do this. And I don't know if they're just playing games right now, or they're waiting for the buddies to accumulate while the prices are low, which more than likely is the case. That's why some of the stuff is taking a little longer to kick off with, overall, government, being government and doing dumb things, with our money. But yeah, I'm excited personally, especially like you're saying, Max, if I'm already doing something, I have a faster, more efficient and easier way to do it. I will use that route too, because why would I go through the 3-day wait and hassle, log into my centralized exchange, hope the funds get there, and then send them and go through the hassle. It takes minutes and minutes of time that I really don't have personally to fart with that mess. I don't know about y'all. I get really tired of bringing new capital on.
Yeah, it's a great. It's an interesting point from Recton Crypto. Wallet is coming, by the way. ProveX directly incorporated, where you set up your own proofs and marketplace within. Don't be surprised if there's another SAC for it. Wow, there's so much in this one. First of all, wallet. Is it coming? Are we getting a wallet? Because there was a tweet a while back about how would you do it.
I think it might be a wallet, but probably not like the kind of wallet that people are thinking of. I think that the concept of ProveX being incorporated with a wallet works well for special use cases like subscriptions and stuff, right? So you could have like your ProveX wallet that handles all your subscriptions, that pays for like your YouTube and your X account. Like it could be like a special purpose wallet that does one thing and does it very well. I'd be I'd be more, I'd be more agreeable to that than to here's a new crypto wallet that comes with all the things that crypto wallets need, right? Like that needs to be updated, needs like continual support over a long time. Doesn't really fit with the profile of what Richard's done in the past, right? Like a wallet is not the same kind of immutable code project that you can not look at for a long time as Hex, right? Like it's like you need staff and you need staff forever, and it never turns off, right? Like I don't
I mean, pulse chain needs, we needed devs. I mean, even though the validators exited and all that, I mean, there's still infrastructure. There's still, even though a lot of stuff is decentralized for IPFS app, I mean, there's still, I'm going to imagine there's still some costs here to running, the official RPCs, and there's other stuff going on, and upgrades, like getting the clients upgraded. Like every time we want to take an upgrade, we need devs to do that. So I don't know if I would say that. Yeah, there's a little bit of precedent with Pulse Chain for that, at least I'll say. But it is
with Pulse Chain specifically, but not with PulseX, not with Pump.tires, not with Hex, or like any or with the Ink token. Like those things they're like there's some small buttons that need to be pressed on PulseX once in a while, probably, but like mostly it's just turn Ink up, turn Ink down. Like that's the only buttons that he has. Where this would be a much more substantial ongoing customer service issue fraught endeavor if he goes full meal deal wallet, right? And if he doesn't, if he goes for a wallet like this only works on Pulse Chain and it can just do these things on Pulse Chain, like nobody's going to use it. It's not going to serve any particular purpose. But if he goes special purpose wallet, right? Like this is your ProveX subscription wallet. Pay for all your subscriptions. Look, it connects to this other app that converts your crypto into whatever it needs to be. Or there's deals made where you can actually pay in crypto for stuff, like something like that, like would tie into like the browser extension, the wallet extension, versus like a full meal deal, multi-chain wallet that would need support. Like, how is he going to do a wallet better than what's been done already?
Again, Pulse Chain, he forked Pulse Chain. I can see a fork of MetaMask.
But like Rabby's better than MetaMask. Internet Money's better than MetaMask. It's like, it's a bigger deal than
well, we're always going to have community products and stuff, but there's also PulseX. We're going to have community dexes, but there's PulseX, and there's always going to be more people creating more stuff, and they're all going to have their way to help the community. But I don't think Richard's going to be like, okay, I'm just going to stop building things because I don't know. I feel like whatever plan he has, he's going to like go forward with it with whatever he's going to get the most traction. If that's a wallet, if it's just a browser extension for using ProveX, if it's a whole exchange that he's built that's both decentralized and not, if it's the glue that connects everything together in Pulse Chain, I just think he's gonna build whatever, and the community could keep building great products too.
He mostly has a pattern of what he's built, though, right? Like we have, Pulse Chain is kind of the exception. Like, yes, it's a fork of Ethereum, but it's a pretty big deal from a dev perspective to launch an L1. But like, it's not really the case for the other stuff, right? Like Hex is like an original creation, so that stands on its own. But like, PulseX is like a fork of Pancake Swap. So it was well-known, well-tested, battle hardened code is what he's done in the past, right? And if he does that with the wallet and he just forks MetaMask, then it's like, oh, look, another MetaMask. Like it would have to be substantially better. And it would require so much attention forever that I'm skeptical of him doing that. But a special purpose thing where it's like, here's a wallet, you use it for this one thing. I think that has potential.
But if he's already got devs around working on Pulse Chain upgrades from time to time, if that's believable, that's a thing that we've seen commits and stuff happen. Then, and we talked about full circle back to, having people that are around organization wise or just working for them that are doing stuff for long periods of time kind of would fit into the narrative of like, all right, we're going to do a wallet. We're going to support the network. We're going to do marketing. Sounds like a whole organization, company, foundation type thing that just more stuff gets built because there is some structure there that is, whether how much details we know about it or not, TBD, but I don't know. I could see that as well. I do love the fact of like, I can launch something that's special purpose and don't have to touch it again. Hex immutable, all that stuff. At the same time, not everything's immutable. We see the ink thing go up and down, and Hex, all that stuff too. But anyways, not with Hex.
As long as there's a connection to Web 2 to Web 3, there'll always be need for devs. It's just a matter how much effort you want to put or money you want to spend into that effort, into that endeavor as you build out from that. Because the Web 2, Web 3 is not you always got to have a database maintenance and stuff like that. You can settle a lot of things on Web 3 side with the blockchain, but at the end of the day, there are a lot of the computational stuff, and to keep the traffic down is going to be on Web 2. That's just the way the tech work right now, unless he's invented a way to bypass that. But everything we've ran into and every other solution that we've seen on the tech side, that the Web 2 still needs maintenance. It still needs a database somewhere. It's going to have servers. It's going to have backups and all the things. And somebody's going to be there maintaining that, consistently. So if he's going to invest into infrastructure and people, more devs or whatever, and then that's up to him to make the decision. Do I go to the customer service side, which is a whole nother level? I agree with Fast. That's a lot of headache. You can talk to KG about that, how much customer service he has to do every day. And that's a small team, much less you expand out to multi-chain now and big time advertising. That's something I wouldn't want to do, answering questions. Even if you hired people, they have to be competent to answer the questions and do stuff like that. And it's just, that's something I would want everyone to invest in and get involved in. I mean, but again, Richard's going to do what he's going to do, but whatever he's going to do and however it works with the plug-in or the extension, however you want to, however that's going to work out, I think it's going to be a boon ultimately to us. And that's what Richard's goal is. As Pulse Chain users and supporters and sacrificers, we will receive the benefit of it. Now, to what level, when, and how soon, that's to be determined, but we're all here for it. We're all here for the glory, we all invested into an idea. We're all sacrificers here. And so, we put our money where our mouth is. Let's go forward and, let's bring Pulse Chain from where we are to the bright shining light crypto.
I don't think he's done building. Also, I said before I didn't think I was going to see any more sacrifices, but we saw one, and now I'm like, all right, I think we can see. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more sacrifices for a wallet, for whatever new idea comes up. I don't think he's going to stop building anytime soon. And the communities, I don't think the community's going to stop building anytime soon. We keep seeing products, left and right. Even when Hex came out, we had Hedron, we had all this stuff built on top of it. Wow, it's really cool to see. But anyways, that's all we got time for on this one. Debate panel. We kind of debated some stuff. It's pretty good.
For the record, I agreed with you guys on everything. I was just being argumentative because it was a debate panel.
Well, yeah, sure. Somebody's got to be the voice of dissent, right?
Yeah. I like it. Okay. All right, gents. Thank you very much, Neil, coming up for the macro update and joining the debate panel. We got Fast up next with ProveX Tokenomics. Kyle could not make it today. We got ProveX Tokenomics and building on ProveX. Got about 30 minutes for him. I could take a quick break in this 8-hour long day of winning, everyone. Are you not winning enough?
That's right. Appreciate
You'd
it,
only be
Max.
winning more if the price would go up, but we can't control that.
Yeah.
So anyways, thanks, Neil. I'll see you later.
All right, man.
We'll be back. Fast, coming up next.
Hey, yo, we had standards. Why they hit us with a Wells notice? SEC versus Orange 11 until they notice. In the back of the court, we're just professional. We don't care, we got them already simple songs screaming out. Heads post INC, post as we hold. Money stacking up, yeah, watch it explode. Heads post INC, post as we hold. Richard Hart versus SEC for crypto. For some reason, yo, they hating no heads. It don't matter, we got each other's back. Now we can flex. Forget a market cap, heads could burn all of that. Already spinning in the front, psyops in the back. We stack, burn, flip and trade a little crypto. Made other platforms famous, cause the DeFi is all we know. SEC sending their letters and marking their posts. They didn't expect RH11 to come and dispose. Heads post INC, post as we hold. Money stacking up, yeah, watch it explode. Heads post INC, post as we hold. Richard Hart versus SEC for crypto.
Post trade has made it clear it's the new L1. Keeping gas fees low on Ethereum, case one. Post extra weight into crypto. Regulations gonna take things slow. Everyone knows we stack, burn, flip, and hold every bit we own. Richard Hart got the vision.
504 heads can grow.
INC incentivizes us to run the show, while the SEC installs in the status quo.
Heads post INC, post as we hold. Money stacking up, yeah, watch it explode. Heads post INC, post as we hold. Richard Hart versus SEC for crypto.
Smart contracts running, DeFi is trust.
This is post trade game, you don't believe in us.
SEC tried to talk, so we had 11 witness. The bear is the real test. SEC is just fitness.
We taking over, no time to debate.
Check your contract over. The audit said it was fake. You got the keys and you collect all the fees, and you're not locked, so you probably pull liquidity.
Hey yo, this the future, crypto on lock. Hex is the first CD on block. SEC stepped in to stop the clock, but the validator's running the code will never stop. Heads post INC, post as we hold. Money stacking up, yeah, watch it explode. Heads post INC, post as we hold. Richard Hart versus SEC for crypto.
You're muted, Max.
Okay, I said we're back. You're back again. You got the PulseX logo, looks great. Or PulseX conference background looks great. There we go. I'm back.
You too.
I am. I know you must not be tired of talking. Neither am I. So much so that I'm going to go take a quick break as well, and let you take it away. And feel free to get some water or whatever you need as well. And I'll be back soon. ProveX tokenomics, everyone. I hear they're good.
Let's do it. So ProveX tokenomics. First off, you guys, none of this is financial advice. I have no insider info, and everything I'm going to say is my own assumption based on things I've picked up, but it's not. None of this is for sure. So we can go through the numbers. So there was a ProveX sacrifice for points. There's a possibility those points could turn into tokens. Total sacrificed. Pull up the correct number here. Okay, $404 million, which sounds like a bunch. But the community sacrifice portion was only about $16.5 million. The rest came in via the OA account. So that's like the origin account for Hex, etc. Presumed to be Richard. I have no particular proof. So that falls in line with the same pattern as what we saw for the Pulse and PulseX sacrifices. The OA came in right at the end with a whole bunch of money to take the majority of the points, which in the case of Pulse and PulseX did turn out to be tokens. So I think we could see that repeat again. So let's take a look at those actual numbers. So according to the sacrifice, there was 1.273 trillion points, right? Of those points, 320 billion of them were from the sacrificers. So that's that $17 million. So that's 25.14%, so around 25%. The other 953 billion, so the large majority was from the OA, right? The origin address. So it's 74.86%, so roughly 75% OA. And 25% to the sacrificers. So if indeed those points turn into tokens, what we're likely to see is that it would be 25% for the sacrificers, 75% go to the OA. So it'd be relatively few tokens on the market, so to speak. From the OA's past behavior, it tends not to sell any tokens at all. It's kind of a black hole for RH tokens. So I think we'd likely see that. Maybe some of those tokens move into initial liquidity and things of that nature, or maybe not, right? But I don't think we're going to see the vast majority, like 74 of that 75% on the market. I think we're likely to see very little of it ever leave the account that it sits in when it first gets deployed. So what is the how does that work, right? So what is the OA and why does it matter that it gets 75% of the tokens? So it's a strategic thing from what we've seen in the past, right? Where it's increasing the market cap. You have this big token number, even though most of them never get sold, never get moved. but there could be other options, right? So there might be some sort of incentives or rebates that use some of those tokens. It's possible. I'd be surprised based on what we've seen in the past. Liquidity support with those tokens seems likely to some degree. There could be something like what Neil and Max and I were talking about, where some of those tokens go towards integrations, towards partnerships with it for ProveX. That wouldn't be unreasonable. Again, not really in Richard's standard pattern of behavior. But like there could be other things like we've seen with Hex recently, where the OA staked a bunch of Hex, which made for like a long-term sort of market structure decision process where there were some levers to pull. So, and these ProveX tokens sitting in the OA account will certainly provide that. It basically gives OA control of the market indefinitely, because it will always be the biggest holder. And it's like ProveX being a not inflationary token, in fact, deflationary by definition. There's a 2% buy and burn from the transactions. So that like those aren't burning the OA's tokens. Those are burning tokens that are on the market. So unless the OA provides all the liquidity, which I don't think is going to be the case, because I suspect other people will be incentivized, perhaps via PulseX, perhaps other teams offering liquidity incentives for people to provide liquidity for ProveX. It'll probably won't be mostly the OA's tokens that gets burned. It'll probably be other tokens that are put on the market that will get bought up and burned by that 2% fee. So the buy and burn is a major part of the tokenomics, in my opinion. Like when you're looking at the long-term outlook of this, you're like, okay, a 2% buy and burn. Well, 2% of what? Right? So 2% of the transactions that go through ProveX. So it's 1% on the buy side, 1% on the sell side. It could be a lot of money, right? Like when I was talking to Ben earlier about ZKP2P, like they're starting to clock around $1 million a week in transactions. So that would translate with the 2% framework to be $20,000 a week in a buy and burn. If the number gets much bigger than that, it could be bigger still. So like we can definitely say that the long term of this could be that the burn account, like the debt account, will end up holding the majority of the ProveX tokens, apart from the OA, which would be the likely forever the biggest holder. So that's a cool thing. I think that's it's not exactly prophecy, but I think long term, if you have a 2% buy and burn, there's going to be a lot of tokens that leave the market never to come back, and it should have a dynamic effect on the price. We got to remember that buy and burn is different than just burn. If you burn tokens, you're not necessarily creating demand. You might create speculation, but if you're buying and burning tokens, like then you are the demand. So if ProveX takes off and it gets a lot of adoption, a lot of usage, we can say that there's going to be a lot of circulation of those tokens via that buy and burn. And that's gonna drive a lot of things. So that'd be cool. So the 320 billion will be like the live supply, right? And the 953 billion the OA holds, like that'll be like mostly a dead supply or like a future purposes supply. Not something that, in my opinion, that I'm going to worry about, that I think most people should worry about, like, oh, what's the OA going to do with all these tokens? From past experience, mostly nothing, right? So I've presented some options. He could use them for incentives. He could use them for other things. I don't think that's likely going to be the case. So I'm not too scared of that particular wallet and how many tokens it has. I think if you are participating in the sacrifice or you want to buy up some after it launches, I think you would look at the 25% and be like, okay, of that 320 billion, what percentage do I have? Not compared to the entire 1.273 trillion. And by the way, these numbers are the numbers of points that are happening in the sacrifice. I'm making a assumption for math purposes that they would be the same token count. It doesn't have to be the case. I suspect the percentages would likely be similar to what I'm talking about. So So like from a big investor's perspective, I think sometimes in the past we found that like having the giant OA account has kept out some investors. I think we can probably start to move past that. Like everybody's been here for a long time. We haven't seen the OA do much. So we can see, definitely a scenario where more people are going to come in because we do have that history of like, okay, the OA is not dumping on your head every day. Vitalik dumps on your head, like a lot of founders dump on your head, but the OA does not. So I think that's pretty cool. Just to summarize the concepts here, right? So we have 1.273 trillion tokens based on the number of points that are out there. 320 billion, so a little over 25% goes to the sacrificers. The OA is 853 billion, so almost 75%. So 2% buy and burn mostly is coming off that 25% that's going out to the sacrificers. I think what's going to happen is there'll be probably beneficial and quickly added ink farms on PulseX where you could earn ink for providing liquidity for ProveX. So probably most of the liquidity is going to come from that 25% and people who buy it early on when it first launches. And that will be what gets caught by the buy and burn. So, to me, that's a pretty bullish scenario. The bull case is that the usage drives a lot of buy pressure via the buy and burn, and then that results in a supply reduction. We make it super rare, which doesn't make the price go up by itself, but by it having a buy and burn, the price could certainly, go up by itself, so to speak. What we need is to get the adoption. So I think that's going to be the major hurdle that we have with ProveX and the tokenomics to make them work out for us is getting people to use ProveX. I'll fall back on what I was talking about before with, I think in the early days, there should be some sort of incentive that Richard sets up to get people to use it. It's going to be done in a very decentralized manner. My go-to is to, pay people to get them to use it. Right. So there'd be perhaps a rebate. Maybe there'd be bonus ProveX tokens. That could be a possible use case, or it could be, it could be a fee reduction for certain people. Somebody said to me that there could be a reduction in fees if you hold a certain amount of ProveX tokens. That could be okay because in some scenarios it's a good deal, but in some scenarios a 2% fee or 1% per side is not necessarily the best deal that you could get. So if there was a fee reduction, you can pay as little as 0.3% if you hold X amount of ProveX tokens, that could be another thing that could drive long-term holding, long-term buying. So something like that could be cool. But I think early on, if there's literally some sort of kickback, you put $1,000 through ProveX and you get $10 back, to get people to see it as an actual profit mechanism, so that they would use it for a 90 to 180 day period of time, where this was just the best place to use for anything that ProveX does. And the most obvious one being moving from chain to chain or moving from fiat into crypto. If it's if you use this one, you actually get back, more money than you put out, but the fee could still be taken. The money could come back after via another mechanism. I think that would be a pretty cool scenario where we would find that we'd get enough people using it in the first 30, 60, 90 days that adoption would be, guaranteed after that by the habit forming activity of them using ProveX every day for so many days, right? Furthermore, if we can get that big number of people, and I mean big, 30,000 plus people a day using ProveX, it would add basically a smokescreen of privacy of there'd be this slew of transactions. And if people want to come on or off of Pulse Chain, they're using ProveX, it'd be there'd be so many peer-to-peer, so wallet to wallet, transactions that would be very hard to track. It wouldn't be a mixer. There'd be nothing illegal about it. But it would be, it would add another element of privacy versus if 3 guys use it a day, right? It would be a very different thing. And that privacy, I think, is something that the OA account needs in particular, right? I think it should be free to do whatever market making moves it wants without people front running every transaction. And that could be one of the hidden reasons behind why we're getting ProveX is to provide the OA with that smoke screen. So it could buy up the chart if it wanted to, market make as it sees fit without people front running the transactions. So, a small side effect, but definitely a cool one. The other concept that I think could be good for the OA is ProveX set up with a peer-to-peer potential for trading. So it'd be okay, I want to sell PulseX. You want to buy PulseX. With Ethereum, it could be set up as a buy wall, right? So what if you are selling your PulseX because you're angry and you're done for whatever reason you have, and you were selling to the OA account, but you didn't know it, right? And we know the OA account seems to be a black hole for RH tokens, and ProveX was set up to do that. Well, that would start affecting how the other tokens look quite a bit, right? So I'm going to sell $5,000 worth of ProveX, somebody's offering a slightly better deal on ProveX than if I just sold it on the market myself. I won't pay any slippage. I'm going to take that route. They take that route. Their tokens end up being, locked in the black hole of the OA account. That and the math on how much the OA has to put out to get those tokens off the market is much better than buying up the chart with people front running him and selling on his head. I think it could, for half as much money, he'd get twice as much done. And then, when all those people are out, that's when you'd make the giant green candles with nobody left to sell who was going to sell. So that's, just a thought, but definitely one possibility that we could find. Does anybody in the chat have any questions about the tokenomics of ProveX? Any assumptions there? Yeah. Well, I don't know how much more I can say about the tokenomics, guys, because we're not, we don't really have any information. All we know is there was a sacrifice. There's points for the sacrifice. Past sacrifice points turned into tokens. So I think that's pretty likely to be the case again. The big difference between this and other stuff on the market is that giant buy and burn. Like 2% is a lot. I could argue in some cases it could be too much, and that's where I think stuff like the rebate program or a discount program, which would require you to hold so much ProveX or maybe another core token, would be a good thing. But like the basic numbers are that like relatively few individuals participate in that sacrifice. Like when we look at $17 million as far as the sacrifice volume, not including what the OA put in, versus the billions that we saw out of the Pulse and particularly the Pulse X sacrifice, right? We get something that is much less watered down than what we've seen in the past. So I'm actually quite bullish on the performance of the ProveX token early on because of the lack of dilution, the very small amount of money for an RH token that went into it. But then long term, because of the buy and burn and just the potential of an infrastructure layer that would continuously buy and burn this token, it makes me long-term bullish on it. But like short-term, it's like, man, this is going to be the cheapest RH token there is. If indeed those points turn into tokens for what people put into it, I think they're going to get a lot out. I suspect the early buyers will also do very well. So yeah, it's one to watch. Want financial advice, but I think it's going to be a doozy.
Oh, nice. Did I hear some financial advice, or you giving financial advice today?
No, not anymore. No, all done.
No, probably not ever. Or yeah, probably a good idea to avoid financial advice. What do you think the launch price will be, though? That could be a total prediction.
Well, like we could go off the math of like the number of tokens and so on and so forth, but I don't think it's I don't think it's anything we could definitively put our finger on. Go off the launch price of Pulse X, launch price of Pulse. Like, yeah, I think Richard's looking for a way for it to be zero. He did talk about that on a couple posts, right? Like, is there a way where ProveX could be launched and traded without without it having a price on day one, right? Which like has certain tax advantages. You receive something that's worth $0 that you could, maybe you could trade it, but only for something else that is worth $0. I think though that concept is cool and it could work. But he would have to, I think he would have to do something fancy to make that work this time, right? Like as soon as you have tokens in people's hands, they can make their own liquidity pools, then it has a price, right? So either he'd have to make a tiny subchain that you can only buy and sell ProveX on with another token that also has no price, or he would just have to hold two sides of a liquidity pool with another new token that can only be traded against ProveX that nobody else had, and I'm not sure that fits the bill. But like, yeah, I think there's a possibility the launch price could be zero. It's not impossible.
Yeah, I'm excited to see just like, is it a regular ERC20, PRC20? Does it have some special features? Yeah, I mean, other than like buy and burn and stuff like that. Like, is it just like a, Pulse X, but ProveX, and like, can it only be used in like how it fits with the protocol? And there's a few different pieces where I think there's options on. And I I don't know. I just think it's like, what do you think his tweet is going to be when it launches? Is it going to be like, oh, it appears that the ProveX token is launched? Or do you think there'll be some like leading up to it? All right, we got like 5 days now because he keeps tweeting about ProveX tokenomics or something.
There's the possibility that the ProveX token could be launched on multiple chains, right? And there's a couple ways he could do that. So like it could be the ProveX token has launched and it is launched on these 7 chains. And it could be either like it's all the same token, but there's a mechanism which is a thing that exists where it, like when you're sending it to one chain, it gets like perma-locked in a contract on another chain until it comes back, so that you're not inflating the token supply and having a different version on every chain. Or it could be it all gets bridged out through the Pulse chain bridge. And like, okay, it's bridged to Ethereum. From Ethereum, it's bridged to, 17 other chains. And that initial supply is supplying, like 10, 20, 30 different chains. That's totally possible as well. I wouldn't be surprised if there was liquidity for it on at least 5 major chains. And if it was launched that way, I think that'd actually be cool. Even if it was just the bridged version where it's like this was bridged to Ethereum, and from Ethereum it was bridged to BNB and to Polygon, etc. Like that'd be cool, because I think ProveX could be something that people from many chains would use. And it doesn't matter if the token is bought and burnt on Ethereum, the price would still ripple through to Pulse chain, right? So I think that concept's fine. And if it's providing service on other chains, right? So it's like you're making a transfer from Ethereum to Polygon, you're paying 1%, or just some other transaction on chain where you're collecting that chain's currency, then it makes sense that there was a pool of liquidity on that chain for a buy and burn to happen in. So that that's just one concept. There's other ways to do it. That would be the easiest way.
Yeah, I think the whole launching is going to launch on Ethereum. It's going to launch on Pulse chain. It's going to launch on 7 different chains. Oh man, I think we got some exciting stuff. Like I think there's just all these things and we've had a lot of exciting things happen so far already, but there's so many more pieces to fall in place. And again, I don't think it's all for nothing. I think some things are being tried, and I think Richard's doing as much as he can, and it looks like there's maybe some progress on the Interpol stuff as well. So it's kind of like every time, I think it's easy to doubt here and there, but is this the right place, all this stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like ProveX is launched, and I don't know, it's almost like it's kind of like this it's a stickiness. I think it's a stickiness. I always remember talking about that stickiness of Hex, the staking for all those years. And it's like, okay, if you got stakes, and you're more likely to pay attention and participate and contribute and not FUD your bags and all that stuff. And yeah, I think literally so much has been set up to make this place great, and maybe a little bit of favorable macro conditions, or otherwise things going through. And we might find ourselves in a very, very much better position than we have been. So I'm excited.
I think it might come all at once, Max. I think all the things that people have been wanting, they haven't got, like in a very short time frame. I don't necessarily mean short from now, but like inside of like a month, 3 months, it'll be like all the things will happen. Be like, oh look, Richard's live streaming 3 hours a day every day, and like we've made these crazy business deals, and like all this stuff has happened. Like it could come all at once, which would have a huge impact. Like we've been building up basically a want list, and I think that Santa may deliver. It's not impossible.
Let's go. I like it. Ooh. Fast Abdul, I'm sure you'll be back in a little bit. Sounds like.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
At some point, take a break, drink some water. So I'm gonna try to do some too. But we got a while. SJ coming up. She's gonna fill some time for us. We're gonna riff a little bit. It should be fun. And I'll see you in a bit.
Have digital tools, right? Good voice recorder, cool lapel mic, sounds a million times better. It's like under $100, right? If you record enough cool thoughts, eventually it turn into a book. Ask me how I know. Much of Sci-Vive was transcribed from recordings that just popped into my head. And if you have a great thought, you shouldn't lose it. I mean, how many great thoughts do you get in a year? 100? 200? 20. Well, if you're in the shower and you're coming up with great thoughts, man, you better capture those, or you'll, all of the best ideas you've ever had will be lost to just forgetfulness. If you don't care so much about recording the great ideas you've had, maybe your offspring and your kids, or, one day you become a thought leader. Hello. Then maybe people care about what you think more, and it's important to have those things written down. So that's my tips for the day. Good talking to you guys.
Tips for the day from Richard Hart about 5 years ago, probably. Something like that. Wallace J, she appeared. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm so much. I'll be honest with you. I had a really hard morning. I like to be honest about those moments in my life because they don't happen often. And the positivity princess woke up on the wrong side of the bed, basically. Like I cry. I woke up and cried a little. And I just I was very fortunate that I'm taking a course with Whitney, and Jamie is the woman that's actually leading it. And it's like a money habits course, and it's all women. And it was exactly what I needed this morning. She advised that we put a song on. She happened to have a playlist, and I picked a song called Surrender. I'd never heard it before. Didn't know the artist or anything. And it just reminded me, like, it's okay to have these moments of just heaviness. Like everything just felt really heavy, and not even because the markets or really anything. It was just a general overwhelming feeling of just, ugh. And I feel like a lot of people are feeling that sentiment. and I just want to, encourage y'all. You're not alone. Even the positivity princess has those moments and has those days, and just know that you're not alone, and know that there's a whole community here for you, feeling those feels and going through it. Way to start off on a deep note. Gotcha.
Let's go. I like it. I like it. Yeah. I mean, it's, we're emotional beings, right? Like there's times where you're going to feel really good, and times you're going to be like, oh my God, I don't even want to, what am I going to do today? What's going to be fun? What's going to, how can I be productive? Oh, am I motivated to be productive? All that stuff. So it's okay. It's okay. We're all humans. We're all just like trying to do some fun stuff. And with the time we got, I guess that's one way to look at it. And speaking of that, I think where there's been so much productivity, I've seen, day and night out of you and your crew of just hustling people that just will not stop, refusing to lose over and over again for months on end, or however long you've been going. The tablets, boy, the Hex iPads, I like to call them sometimes. They've been going through the roof, going to people to distribute. And we're gonna see how well we can push marketing, and how many people we can onboard whenever our season comes. I hope that all this we're in a very good spot with that, with marketing, and you've been doing an amazing job there. So let's check it out. I'll hop back in about 15 minutes or so. But tell us about tablets. Let's go.
All by myself? I'm just kidding. I got this, y'all. So first, I just want to say that. And I've said this multiple times, but if you don't know me, you haven't seen me before. I have been here since 2021, and I am still here because of the community. I feel like my life did a 10,000x because the people that I'm surrounded by are the most thoughtful, kind, generous, hardworking, persistent people I've ever met in my life. My friend group went from not that many in terms of just like day to day to, I feel like I have thousands of friends all over the world now. And that's thanks to Richard and what he's built and this community. And I love that everything I've been involved with has allowed that to continue. Like being a part of just for doing SciVive, right? So if you don't know, I did the audiobook for SciVive just selfishly, basically. And then getting to be a part of the Pulse Chain Tour, right? So Black Hexagon, RG3, and I put that on during the bear market. Wanted to do it whether or not Pulse, we started planning it before Pulse Chain launched, we were going to do it either way, and did a tour through the bear market, and it cost us a lot, basically, you know, but it was great I think the what outweighed it was the community being there, the community getting to see one another, the community building upon that moment, right? Like getting to put forth and put forward the idea that, hey, there are more people than just you in this town that have the thoughts and feelings that you have, that are going through this with you. So the tablets now has become something. I mean, when we signed up to do this, we didn't know. We had no idea how much work, how much involvement, how much space, how much machinery, how many things I needed to learn, like what we were actually going to do, how any of it. It was just, hey, we're here, we're available, we've got a nonprofit. What's the next step? And the beauty of the way this has gone, and the things that I've seen, is just wonderful. There's so many synchronicities all throughout this community, all throughout time. It's been beautiful to watch that, and to see people show up. I can't remember who mentioned it, but someone mentioned how amazing it is that I can put a tweet out, and within 24 to 48 hours, I've got 10 to 15 people from all over the place that are willing to come out and help with something. We had someone fly from Utah, right? Like, and we've had someone fly from Canada. We've had tons of people from all over the place just want to come and be a part of this and get their hands dirty, so to say, right? Like with the work. And it is work. It's like we are printing the label, like so I wanted to show you all this. Like, this is one of the first labels. I don't know if I have them in order. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this in some semblance of order here. This is really fun to see. Like, you know, you guys see a fraction of what's happened and what's gone on. And at first, I mean, that was very much by design, right? Like, Richard's not one to give away all his secrets, and being a part of this whole process, it's like we really have just wanted to respect our anonymous donors and make sure that we're, you know, doing things that are in line with their privacy and, you know, whatever it needed to be. And it's changed. Things have changed as we go. Like, we're actually looking into a different printer right now. So things continue to evolve and to change. And so just to give you an idea here, I've got probably a stack of 12 different iterations of the label and how it started and how it's going. And that's been, you know, a whole journey, right? Because it's like, you want to say as much as you can. You want people to see this thing and think, oh man, like, I really want to understand more of this. I want to be a part of this. So this is the first one, right? If you can see, there's lorem ipsum on there, right? Similar design, just different wording. And then we went to the free gift, and those were for our mass mailing, right? Which we're still doing in part. It's just different now. We had what would you say that is? Gatekeeping. Because of the U.S. Postal Service, we ran into some issues with them, and so we're just doing it different now. And then we just moved on to, you know, what can we say? How can we do this? And it got more and more simple. Was basically you know, you guys have seen most of them, right? But so at this point, it really is just like more and more simple. Amazon's coming, guys. We're gonna be listing on Amazon. That's what the warning label's for. We absolutely have to. That's part of why it's taken so long, because there's been all this like red tape about the batteries involved and it being a kid's toy, and we've had to go back and forth a bunch. But that is soon, hopefully sooner than it has been. And I think this is the most recent version right here. So we got, and I've been trying to change the artwork. So like a bunch of these went to Dallas. And then if any of you are from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you might recognize that kind of stuff. So for the ones that are going on Amazon, this will look different. And of course, it's going to be different because it's going to have that warning label as well. So yeah, it's hard to describe the work and what we're doing and how it's going. I see a question from Frankie. How can I go to you could just get there, man. They're not going into the Super Bowl. They're just going to the parking lot and handing out the tablets. So it's up to you to get yourself there. Contact Hex Monkey. He's the one who is kind of, I don't know, organizing it, but he's like the touch point person there for that. And, also just start to think about what can you do in your own neighborhood? What's in your backyard that you can go to and hand these tablets out? And I like to encourage folks to think about not just handing them out to anyone. Yes, there's a lot of them. Yes, we're going to be able to impact, I think, a good chunk of people that are in crypto or know about crypto. Who else, though, can you target? Like, who else do you think might have interest in it? Because the macro, right, is prime, I think, for people understanding it more and wanting to know more. Anytime I talk about it, I have more people interested than not, right? Like, they are curious. They do want to know more. Whether or not they're going to buy right now, for me, this whole endeavor is a long-term play. The fact that these are going to sit in people's homes, that they're going to see those icons over and over again, and they're going to see the name Pulse Chain, they're going to see the words Hex. I think that is more than anything what is the good about, like, one of the best things about this is that it's not something people get stoked about it. Like, anyone I've shown or given it to, they really love the thing itself, right? Some people, oh, my kids got that. Other people are just like, oh, hey, this is really my mom loves it. You know what I mean? If mom loves it, how can anyone not? So in addition to that, we have volunteer opportunities here all the time. It's not constant right now. There's a lot of kind of like different little things happening, but it will be a little bit more constant soon, especially with Amazon, that whole thing coming on board. And we're just, if you want to come hang out with some real positive, real uplifting, real hardworking Hexicans and Pulse Chainians, we're here. We're going to be out here in the Temecula Valley area for who knows at this point. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of the tablets, right? I think it's less than 1 million now, but we did have, we didn't have 1 million, I think, at any one time, but like we've had 1 million sent to us, and there's already been probably, like, I would say maybe 15% has been sent out. It might be more than that. I am actually in the middle of doing all of our numbers because we recently moved spaces and are trying to get that all figured out. Let's see. What else? Suzy Q came to the Hive. There's been a lot of really awesome, fun people that have come through and helped out. And if you're thinking about it, come on down. We will provide hotel and food. If you can get here, that's a thing that we're willing to offer, is room and board for a little bit. And just, depending on how long you can stay and what we're up to. But I'm grateful. I'm really grateful to be a part of this. I think that it has really helped me in being here in general in this community has just made my life purpose glow. Like, I feel so like I was meant to be a part of this, and that I meant to do these things, and I meant to be here. Like, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, about 5 years ago, if I'd be here doing this kind of thing, I'd have no clue in my mind that this is some way my life would have ever gone. Not in 1 million years. And it's beautiful to me that I ended up here, because there are so many people I feel that have the same kind of, what's the word? There's just something that's kind of like this underlying vibe of the Hex and Pulse community, where a lot of people within this community want to do more and want to see better happen in the world. And I strongly believe that we've been brought together through these means for a big reason. And if I can do anything or everything in my power to continue spreading that message, continue to tell people, you know, how DeFi is and should work, and the fact that you can be your own bank and have custody of your own key, like just all these little things. That's what got me excited in the first place. And that's still part of the reason that I'm doing this, is I really strongly believe in those ideals and those values. And that's something that I strongly believe can change the world. And I'm really, I just want to encourage you guys that, you know, there's more to this. I mean, a lot of people are in this to get rich, right? And like want the money, right? But if you can hold through these times and know that there's more to this than just the financial gain, that to me is what is like makes it all worth it in the end, is the like life gains that I've had.
You're telling me that 5 years ago you didn't think you'd meet crypto guy, genius billionaire founder guy who has all these goals, all these things he wants to do in the world, and he creates this community, and like, you know what? Oh, he wrote a book too. So that's a pretty good book. Oh, and then you start reading his book, and then I feel pretty similar. I'm like, I mean, it's been like 7 years for me. I want to say came across 2017, 8 years. I don't know. Wow. It's been like 8 years or so since I came across.
Next year it'd be 10 years. That's 9 years, bro.
Right? Getting close. Yeah, 8.5. Yeah, I can't remember exactly when, but I mean, as far as the months and stuff go, but.
Yeah,
I think it was 2017. I want to say. So it's got to be like 9. Hold on, math. 9. Yeah, 8 or 9 years. Whatever it is, it doesn't feel like that long. But I came across them, and somebody at a party was like, "Hey, you ever see Richard Hart and his opinion on Ethereum or whatever?" And back then, you know, he didn't like it so much, and then I was like, "Oh, this guy's pretty interesting. Oh, he talks about stop playing poker, stop gambling, stop, you know, how to give a good apology, all that stuff." And I was like, man, this guy, I like his ideals. I like, he's into crypto too. I'm into crypto now. You know, I'm new into crypto. And then became Hex, and then became Pulse Chain, and everything since. And it's just like, wow, it's pretty. I mean, I think it's. There's so many things that I've gotten that I was kind of looking for. I was looking to learn at the time. I was going through I remember our first stream, or one of our first streams. I think I used to tell this as like my introduction to, I was what was it? Health, wealth, and what was the journey? I was like, I basically wanted to learn and consume a lot to get, you know, better at life and understand things better and see what I want to do and all that stuff. Health, wealth. Well, God, what was it? I used to say this a few years ago. Whatever journey it was. And yeah, Richard became a big part of that. And it was Naval Ravikant, Alex Hormozi was a part of it. Sam Harris, still, you know, meditation, all that stuff like that too. Elon, I mean, Richard, like all those guys just really just had these visions, had these ideals, had these mental models, ways of thinking about things that really struck me as, wow, these people are, you know, they're great men. They have these great ideals, and they want to proliferate them in the world. And especially, you know, when the community started with Richard, I was just like, you know, I didn't, you know, participate. I was pretty passive at first. And then, it just struck me as like, man, I want to do the work. I want to help out. I want to like get into it. And from there, I had no idea that I'd be like, all right, I'm doing conferences and events and, you know, streaming and talking to you about tablets. They're doing tablets, doing marketing campaign, making tablets, making doodle pads. They're doing doodling. Doodling pads. Yeah. I was like, we're winning. We're putting our best faith effort to win.
Yes.
And I had no idea it would be this kind of battle to like, it just seems harder. Like when I look back, I'm like, man, I didn't know it'd be this hard. This is hard. Like there's nothing easy about like, just, I mean, first it was like the SEC stuff and just being able to be like, okay, DeFi, and being able to, you know, be able to do sacrifices or whatever, and being able to do decentralized things. And, you know, our founder, you know, again, hiring the lawyers and getting free from all that stuff. But it was almost like the attacking of the ideals, the attacking of the way that people can come together and do things. Mm-hmm. You know, not just the like all the other money raised or whatever. Anyways, it's hard. So everyone out here who's been here for a while, if you just joined us, welcome. Hopefully you have an easier path, and hopefully you've sucked in a lot of the values and virtues that we've been practicing for a while and trying to keep true to. But if you've been here for a while, man, and I truly think it is if we're able to get through all this and come out the other side winning, and this is supposed to be the place. This is supposed to be the place where your money goes, you make more of it, that you put your time and energy into, and you get returns from. And I just shout out to everyone who've been battling and going through all the hard stuff, and hopefully come out the other end very wealthy and wise. I guess I'd put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been awesome to also just see more people showing up. Like, people keep showing up. You know what I mean? Like that to me is super bullish, because it's like, if this was nothing, if this was a scam, if this was anything that wasn't worth its, value, people wouldn't keep showing up and keep creating content and start their own channels and come out to California and like fly out here to help with tablets. It's just so amazing to see that growth continue. Like, there was a point probably like a couple years ago where I was like, oh, I've probably followed every person that I could or want to at this point, and there are no other accounts that are going to be bullish and positive, and lo and behold, that they just keep showing up, and I love that.
I see new content creators from time to time. I've seen ones that I never came across before. I see people every event, every conference I do. There's people who I've never met that I get to see speak at the conference and just interact and stuff. And there's so many from all over the world. Like, guy on here was he's from Kenya, and he did like a whole grassroots talk. Like, if anyone hasn't seen it, if you started tuning in today, like the first couple hours he was on talking about that, and I was just like, man, that's so amazing. That he's very passionate about it. He's been around for a while, just trying to like tell people about pulse chain and stuff in different places there. And it's I think oh man, it gets we've been through so many different pieces, and everyone's just trying to, again, some people are just here for money, some people are here for the community, some people are here and that's where they want to build, they want to make products, and they're here for the tech and all this stuff. And I think that's the one thing that really glues everyone together, is our ability to have different kinds of people from everywhere doing all these different things. And again, they're putting in the work. They're doing this. One of the most powerful phrases I've ever heard is "you do the work," that Richard talked about before. And I think that's what the community is about. Like, they may gripe and complain and be like, "Oh, Richard, do something here, make the product," like all that stuff too. But really, this community is built on grassroots. If you want to get something done, you go do it. You go put in the effort. You go organize and do it. And that's where, point to me another place where that happens, and it can be as effective as we have been through all the different challenges and stuff. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Real quick on that note, it just made me think something I should put out there in the world as well. I posted about this the other day, but if you are in another country and you have a nonprofit, charity, or are trying to start one, let's go. Like, mention it in it's t.me/filter for mail. You could DM me, and we'll try and get you in touch with the right people to make sure that can be moved forward, because I feel like now that we've kind of been the testing ground out here, of course it's going to be different everywhere. But it's nice to think that there are other people in the world in other places that want to do the same thing, and that's a possibility. So, yeah.
Yes, I think, I think there are. And I think like the guy earlier, I told him, I think I sent you his Morris, at I am Morris on there. And he's got a YouTube channel. I had no idea he had a YouTube channel. He produces content. He's doing all this stuff. And just come across people like that, it's very inspiring.
Awesome.
So hopefully get some more. He's like, he talked about wanting some tablets, and I'm like, all right, let's hopefully be able to do that. But yeah, speaking of, challenges and market conditions and all this stuff, what makes you, there's plenty of ways people can doubt the ecosystem. Oh, it's been a long time. Why hasn't price went up? Where's Richard? Like, you know, does he care about us? All this stuff. What comes to mind when you think of like the criticisms of the ecosystem of Richard? Why isn't this something people can just write off and be like, look, maybe he had good intentions, maybe he didn't, whatever, but he tried and it didn't work. It's not going to work. Now we're going to bear like all this stuff. What is that? What is something that you can really be like, no, this is that you believe that, you know, we're getting to glory.
Yeah. Just re-listen to anything he's ever said. Go back and listen to the Christmas message. Go back and listen to, you know, when he's talking about ProveX. There's so much that he is like, he's the same person. He still wants his glory. In fact, I actually just listened to the Christmas message again. And he talked about that. Again, he's here for the glory. He wants it. That hasn't changed. I don't think that's ever going to change until it happens. And there was that post. In fact, I'm glad I have this. There's a post he made that had this like little motivational poster with these words from someone anonymous. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? There we go.
Hey, yeah.
Like,
I can barely read it, but yeah, go ahead. I love the logos, by the way. It looks really good.
Yeah, I made these. So I'm going to read this. I don't know what will work, but I 100% know something the fuck will. And we're going to try every single fucking thing. We have the dream, the chain, the stuff, the trading, the everything, the legal clarity, better on-ramps, you fucking name it. We have fucking everything. Now we get to live the dream of just chilling. I mean, persistence, like we both know his favorite quote, you know, is about persistence. He's about persistence. He's about getting the glory. When people say that he's not here or he hasn't done anything, blah, 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 I'm just like, what? Like, are you not paying it? Are you not listening? Like, he has not gone anywhere. He's been tweeting, posting on X like this entire time, giving us videos. I strongly, firmly believe that there's a good, two things. There's a really good reason behind why not the live streams. Probably has a little bit something to do with the legal shit that's going on in other country. And I also strongly believe that, I mean, look at us, look at this community and what we're doing and what we've built and like what's going on. And that there are still people building protocols. There's still people there's so much going on this chain. And we haven't had him live stream, you know, like I firmly believe that it's been great for us, honestly, him not streaming. And if he does ever come back and do that, fantastic. Stoked about it. If he doesn't, it's fine. I'm still here. I'm still going to be here. It's not going to deter me in any way, shape, or form. And it just boggles my mind to people. He even addressed that, I think, I don't think it was the Christmas video, but in the other one, that he was just like, these people that think I'm not here, you know, he said some not so nice words, but it just like, it's true. Like it's like we forget so quickly. You so quickly forget that he just talked about the glory that he wants and the things that he's building and how everything we have is better than everything else out there. It is really just a matter of time and marketing and people understanding and knowing what this is and what we hold.
Is 2026 the year of shill?
Yeah, of course it is. I got 100,000 million tablets over here. We got to chill out.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm going to konnichiwa for that one. Let me get a konnichiwa real quick. 3, 2, 1, konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa!
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, if all we got to do is all we need is marketing, and all we got to do is shill. Definitely. I mean, the chain's there. I don't know about people buying crypto right now. I certainly hope money, something happens. Money, people returns? Have money. Tax returns. We got maybe there's something.
Let's hope
something to be hopeful about. Or maybe it's our season and we're like, all right, everything else is going down. But oh my God, look at over at Pulse Chain. What is going on with Pulse Chain? I thought the thing was a scam. Look at it. People are making eyeballs of money out there. Why am I not there right now? Let me download this ProveX thing so I can do private transactions and on ramp new people.
Make my heart flutter.
Gosh, that'd be fun. That's what I want to be. I want to be on stream talking about that.
Yeah.
Look at the charts. Look at the charts. I actually want to look at a chart today. Yeah. I haven't looked at charts in a long time. I keep hearing things about charts, but I'm not took a look. But I mean, it's felt that way for a while, but also I haven't seen. I mean, just seeing some progress on the legal front, again, the rumors and stuff. That sounds really good. I don't know. I'm excited to be excited. I'm excited to be more excited. I'm excited to talk about things that are more exciting. But there's been some progress. So that's what else can we not expect, I guess.
Yeah.
The year of shill. If we can onboard people in these market conditions, grow the community, and when it is time for them to buy, they have a tablet in their hand. Maybe that's, I mean, looking in hindsight, if that works out and it is like the perfect situation and it does just like, oh my gosh, that was totally, I'm totally glad we started at that time with the marketing and stuff. I think that's easy to look back on and be like, yeah. And then Pulse Chain went to the moon and he just mic drop.
Beautiful.
I could see that. I could see that. I'm also a Pulse Chain bull, but
yeah, me too, for sure. I ordered my sister like a week ago.
All right.
Yeah, little by little.
She gets to buy the all-time lows. Let's go.
Right? I'm jealous.
The dream of dreams.
Yeah.
The dream of dreams is to be able to. Yeah. What do you think? Man, what is your speculation on ProveX? This is ProveX conference. What do you think that? When are we going to get ProveX Dev? When ProveX Dev? I got a T-shirt. I got a ProveX T-shirt.
Nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
Is it the golden child? I mean, that looks very gold. It's like ProveX is the golden child.
It is orange, but it's kind of goldish orange. Yeah. Is it the last child? I don't know.
You know what I had this cool thought the other day. If you take a hexagon now, you can put every like a logo of each. If you do EHEX and PHEX.
Oh, EHEX, that's PHEX. 5 though, isn't it?
No, EHEX, PHEX.
Hold on. How many tokens do we have now?
PulseX, Inc, and ProveX.
Do we have 6 now? Okay, I guess that's right. I guess we do. If
you separate EHEX and PHEX.
If you put EHEX on there, which thought we were done with Ethereum, but it could be making a comeback. You never know.
I still really like the way that Johnny talks about it with the idea of people are going to shop at the market that's in their hometown kind of thing. Like I see that will happen, and maybe we're going to run out of EHEX and then PHEX does its thing. Or both.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some bull cases for EHEX and versus PX and all this stuff.
But ProveX. Sorry, ProveX. Back to ProveX.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking the way that Richard thinks about it as who knows if there's if we have E ProveX and there's P ProveX and there's B ProveX and there's S.
It's supposed to be very multi-chain, right?
We're at the ProveX conference. You tell me. All right.
I don't know. Yeah, I actually still want to do this. I have not yet, but especially now that there's a little more news about ZKP2P changing its name to Peer. My goal is to live stream while I'm checking that out because I haven't messed with that site at all. But knowing that ProveX is a fork of that protocol, I feel like it would be great to just dive in and mess around and look at the site and see what's going on with it. I think it's brilliant. There's a token associated with, I was listening to you and Fast talk a little bit. So the fact that Richard took this idea of this peer-to-peer system and then added tokenization to it, again, just freaking genius, man. It's like everything that he's done has been something awesome in and of itself or something awesome and then improved upon. And, just like we were talking about, excited to be excited. I'm excited for all the winning to continue happening. And I see ProveX as something that will definitely draw more people in. It'll be something else to talk about outside of just Pulse Chain and outside of, I kind of want to say outside of crypto in a way, but just because it involves so many other platforms, right? Like you have the ability to, it is crypto, obviously it's all crypto related, but like Venmo and Cash App and, all these different platforms, like it feels to me like it's going to allow more people to understand more about DeFi, I think specifically, and privacy and how attractive that can be financially.
Yeah. Well, I was asking you too, because I actually haven't thought that much about multi-chain ProveX, because I don't know, it just seems like I can't imagine launching on Ethereum and not Pulse Chain, but I can't also imagine, I don't know, it just seems like it's going to be a Pulse Chain product, but we're going to find a way to get it on other chains. I don't know if that's going to be a launch on other chains though. It could be, but that just seems like a very different move than what we've seen before. We haven't seen anything else launched in any other chain. Everything's been on Pulse Chain, and there was eHex there was a fork copy on Pulse Chain from Ethereum, of course, with Hex. I don't know. Maybe there is something there. Maybe there is in the playbook. There's like, okay, some genius billionaire founder guy figured out a way to do it in a very interesting way. I'm excited to see. I don't know when it's going to launch. And hopefully the token launches soon, because it's a token we can trade, and token go trade. Token go save too. I mean, not you have to trade it as in you have to go sell it all at once, which is, who knows what's going to happen at launch, depending on macro, what everyone does with it. Oh my gosh. But wouldn't it be amazing if it did launch and then it got sold down, or it got sold down and then all of a sudden it became our season and then straight to the moon.
Yeah. And I think that cool. if we haven't learned anything yet, there is very much, what am I trying to say? I think Richard knows about timing, very, very much so. And I can only see it being, like, of course there's certain things that didn't go timing wise the way I'm sure everyone would have hoped. But at the same time, I think he will do everything in his control to ensure that, what we hold and what we have and with ProveX, right, that I'm basically saying, like, I'm not upset about the fact that it's taking a while, right? Like, I think it's planned. I think that's on purpose. I don't know that it was, maybe at first it was like going to come sooner, but now because of market conditions, right? Like, it just makes more sense to wait. It makes more sense, for things to just like be polished, perhaps, right? Or like whatever it is. I just am, I don't know. I think I'm just grateful that this community has been one that has taught me so much patience with all of that. And not just like, oh, like here I am waiting, but just being okay, like being super okay with that and like almost wanting it. Like, I'd rather wait. I want it to be the right time and for things to go well. And I'd rather wait than have it just come out and, like your people market dumping and things like that. Like, it just doesn't make sense for it to go that way.
I think there's probably a very different experience with people who are waiting and believing and contributing versus waiting and expecting. I think there's a very significant difference in the experience, I would bet, between those two groups of people. Absolutely. And it sucks. I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to be just being like, no, I don't really believe in this thing. I'm supposed to already be, I'm supposed to already make all this money by now. And the guy doesn't, he does a Christmas video or something. Like, I could see how that would be frustrating, and like that would be, a much worse experience than, for example, what it appears you and I have been doing, and many others. It's like, we're just when it's ready, and then we believe in, that we believe in the glory narrative. And Richard seems like not a bad guy, and seems like he's trying all the things and seeing what works, type of deal. So gonna keep going until it happens. but that's not the 100% experience for everyone. So if you're out there not having a great experience, so that sucks. But there are other ways to look at things, other framings, and I don't know. There's this community, the people who are here contributing, they certainly tend to be believers, and that's I noticed that. I don't know if you saw this on the ProveX website, but one of the things that I think is I'll show it real quick. One of the things I think is telling that this is an RH product is, if you scroll down, so it talks about political statement, no ICO, no pre-sale, no VCs, just believers. And when I saw that for the first time, I was like, I feel like that it struck me as a nod, as a nod to the community. If they were going to participate, whether you participate or not in the community, it is a nod that believers, again, the way that you can make a very good case that believers get rewarded, and we don't know when, and we don't know how, and don't have any guarantees, but just that phrase, just believers, I was like, I feel like there's something there. There's something to do with the whole approach to these products and ecosystem that's very telling for that to be there.
Yeah, everything has been for a reason, and a good reason. All the sacrifices, all the wording behind, you're sacrificing for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, right? You're here because you're a believer. It's really been, again, it's just, to me, that's been the 10,000x that's kept me here, is this community believes very strongly. And, I saw the title of this was, the master plan, right? And this is something that I say over and over again, is that to me, crypto is just a stepping stone for Richard. It's just one piece of the puzzle that he wants to see happen in the world. And I still really think that, Sci-Vive Island, Hexaco, whatever you want to call it, and having your own nation state is very much still in his playbook. I mean, he's got a lot of life to live, and should longevity serve us well, hopefully many of us do, and we can work together to just create a beautiful, wonderful place where we can, have these mad gains and use them well and continue to see beautiful, wonderful things happen in the world, and just be a part of making that legacy happen, right? So it's just a piece of the puzzle, in my opinion. This is just one step in the glory, the rungs of glory, right? This is just one of them.
So you think, I've talked about this before, I think Richard will be, could, again, who knows what's going to happen, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's remembered for his philanthropy, if he's remembered for his contributions to science and technology, and with longevity and all that stuff, and that crypto is I said a footnote before. I don't know. I feel like crypto is going to be a big piece of it, but it's going to be, like you said, like a stepping stone to get a means to an end type of thing. Do you think, master plan, end game, the glory, what is that? What the glory means? What he thinks he wants to do in the world, whatever that is, whatever he thinks is most important, longevity, you could say, building communities, enriching people, live their fullest lives, Sci-Vive principles, all that stuff, whatever that is. Do you think his goal is to get to that, to build the community, to build the products, to build the things that need to get built to get there? Is that the end game?
Yeah.
Is that what Richard's here for?
I think so. Especially if you kind of just take into consideration so many of the things that he's either said or hinted at or talked about. One of them is he's said, I think on multiple occasions, that he's happiest when he's around people, when he's around friends, when he's around, like minds. And to be able to create an atmosphere, or a physical place where all you're surrounded by is like minds and people that believe the same, very similar things that you do, and want to move that kind of attitude and that kind of that kind of wealth, right? And I don't just mean financial wealth. I mean just like real, just richness of life. I strongly believe that that is the end goal. Is just doing what he can, using the tools that he has, that he understands well, that he is able to build with, right? Using those tools to create like a paradise. I mean, who wouldn't want that, you know? Let's live forever in paradise. Sounds great to me. Like, you know, I feel like that in part is what he would love to see is people being well, doing awesome things and being able to do that for as long as they possibly can in a place that allows them to do, you know, what it is that they want and succeed in the ways that they want.
Let's go. Let's go. I like it. I'm excited. Excited to be excited. Excited to be excited to be excited. Oh, let's go. I like it. Yeah. Always good to see you a while on this, Jay. If you're around and you want to come back, community panels happening about an hour or so. No expectations, but if you want to come back, have some people there, riff some more, close out this conference. We're only about more than halfway through. It should be fun. But anyways, thank you. Thank you for all the things you're doing in the community too, as always. Appreciate you.
Thank you as well. See you later, everyone.
Yeah. Bye. That was a wild SJ putting in the work, doing the work, tableting. Got a couple gentlemen coming up next. Before we do that, let's do, persist.
You must be able to see it, Mr. Anderson. You must know it by now. You can't win. It's pointless to keep fighting. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist?
Because I choose to.
Let's go. How's it going, Donald and Harris? How's it going?
This is Donald here. Hopefully Harris will join us soon. I've got some really, really, really good news to announce today. Really good news. First of all, I want to pay respect to all of the hexagons and pulsicons. I've been a hexagon since, when was it? December of 2019. I didn't buy the first day. I waited a couple of weeks and I put $1,000 in. And in a matter of, can't remember, week or two, it went 4-1. I go, oh, wow. And I had somebody ask for a favor. So I took out $3,600 to make a donation to somebody that was having some trouble. That left $400 worth in there. And that $400 worth eventually was worth $500,000. Only one little catch. I had it staked. I couldn't sell it. I'm sitting there looking at $500,000 from $400. Couldn't sell it. And then as I was waiting for the ability to cash out, I noticed that people were cashing out. Oh boy. So, I'm still here. You're still here. We're all still here. And that says a lot. That says a lot. That says we're here for good. We're here for good. I'm thinking back a little more. I remember the 2017 bull run. I turned down Bitcoin in 2017. I looked at it when it was 50 cents and I said, no, this is just another trade credit. I had trade exchanges. I could make my own trade credits. I don't need this. And then it went up and up and up and up. 2015, I took another look at it, started accepting a little bit of it in our business in about 2015, 16, 2017. It was, as you know, the crypto world was so hot, you could about throw a dart and make a profit. I don't know if you were around then, but things were going up 10, 20% a day. And then 2018 came. What do you know? Selling pressure. People were selling, taking profits. Boom, 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 down, down, down. So a new invention came along, EOS. Another, I don't remember if they called it a sacrifice or what it was, but we were buying it with Ethereum. They raised how many billions? I don't remember. And then the launch came and it was a bit of a bull run, like always. First, it's a great new thing. And then selling pressure. Oh my gosh. So up and down. Isn't that the crypto world? Excitement, 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 excitement. take profit, take profit, take profit, boom. So what's the solution for that? What is the solution for that? Well, that's good news. I'm going to announce that today. So here we have December 2019, went up like crazy at first, right? Remember that? And then all of a sudden selling pressure. For 6 years now, we're trying to empty out the pockets of those original OGs that got it really, really cheap. And we need a solution. We're here. We're a solid community. We're not going anywhere. And there's a breath of fresh air on the horizon. A new philosophy, a new working project, new energy, a new purpose for our community. A new philosophy, new energy. Here's what I propose. Instead of creating selling pressure, how about if we just go spend it, transfer it to another person who's willing to accept it? Guess what? When I go talk to my dentist, I'm going to ask him, hey, can I pay you with HEX? He's going to say, what is that? And I'm going to explain it to him, and he might get interested. Every person that we go and shop with, we can talk to him about, hey, can I pay you with HEX? Because if I spend my HEX and I'm not selling it, there's no price dump. I'm not selling it. There's no price dump. I'm transferring it from this account to that account at the full value. There's no selling pressure. The DEX doesn't even know I did it. It's person to person, P2P, peer to peer. And it doesn't create a price dump because I didn't sell it. I moved it from this account to that account, from my account to my dentist. And when I get my car fixed, I can ask him, hey, can I pay you half the bill with HEX? I'll pay you for the parts. I'll pay you for the labor with HEX or PulseX or ProveX, whichever one is your favorite. And guess what? ProveX happens to create a great way to make sure that he gets what he's got coming and I get what I got coming. If I want to transfer, payment. I'm not sure how ProveX works yet, frankly. I haven't spent the time to figure out every little detail, but correct me if I'm wrong, Max, but isn't it a way that I can pay you and make sure that I get what I had coming?
Yeah, a way to privately exchange value, essentially, with zero knowledge.
And neither one of us are selling. It's peer-to-peer. It's my account to your account, and it's not affecting the price on the decentralized exchange or on any kind of exchange.
Peer-to-peer marketplace.
Yeah. So ProveX has utility. It's a way for me to transpire business with you in a safe way and in a way where I'm not crashing the price of my crypto. What good is it to go like this and then like this? And that's what's happening in crypto. That's what happened to EOS. That's what happened to HEX. Well, we can fix that. We can just stop selling it. We can just start offering it to people. Pretty simple.
I love the solution. To stop selling it. Sell pressure.
Goodbye,
sell pressure. Goodbye. Yeah.
Excuse me?
I was like, goodbye, sell pressure. Because
I think you watched Richard's video. Hello, sell pressure. Selling.
Goodbye.
If I'm paying my dentist with it and my auto repair and my tree trimmer and my roofer with HEX, first of all, it introduces them to HEX. They're going to say, what's that? Oh, here's what it is. And this is how it works. And oh, really? Yeah. Okay. I'll give you some. And look here's a bunch of people that accept it. We've created a website with over 3,400 people listing that they'll accept HEX or various other cryptocurrency. tcbarter.com. You can go on there and list yourself for free. I want tree trimming. I want dental work. I want this. I want that. And I'll give you HEX. And we can also simply offer it every time we're pulling out our wallet. Talk to the guy or the person or the lady. You need planning a wedding. Maybe they'll take half the wedding cost in some HEX. Why would they take HEX? Because this other guy will accept HEX, and pretty soon this other guy will accept HEX. Pretty soon this other guy will accept HEX, and it becomes what it was intended to be: a value that can be transferred from account to account without selling pressure. So why sell? Why sell? Why not spend? That's my philosophy. That's the philosophy. Harris, jump in if you want to say anything, if there's anything that I'm saying wrong or forget about saying. But basically, You protect the price chart by not selling, period. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll let you all riff on it for a minute, and I'll be back, and I'll check for chat has any questions too. But yeah, just explain a little bit the peer-to-peer marketplace thing, website up. If you want to share the screen or thing, just let me know as well.
Oh yeah, let me do that. How do you share a screen? You hit present?
Yeah, present, and then select the window that you want to share, and yeah, I'll put it up there.
Let's see, share screen. See how this works. Okie dokie. So if I change tabs, do you guys still see it when I change tabs? Like if I go to this website, do you see that? No, it's still on the old one, isn't it? Okay, so I have to do one particular tab. Okay, I understand. So this is kind of my notes that I'm talking from, if you can see it. Basically, why we should spend instead of selling. It matters. Protecting the chart. Real utility. It changes hex and pulse hex into currency because we're spending it. We're not selling it. The proof, what does it say here? On-chain verification. Well, that's what ProveX does for us. On-chain verification, perpetual liquidity, a way to transfer safely, make sure you get what you got paying for, get what you paid for. Websites that offer you a place to spend instead of selling offer you a way to cash out without creating selling pressure, without price dumps. You can tell merchants, hey, I'd like to pay you with ProveX. I'd like to pay you with Hex. And they're going to say, what's that? Now you're onboarding people. What a great way to onboard the people that you do business with. Onboard your dentist. Can I pay you part of the bill with Hex? Onboard your, who else? Roofer, plumber, tree trimmer, auto repair, caterer, your favorite local restaurant. Hey, I want some restaurant gift cards. Can I give you a couple $100 worth of Hex? And you give me a couple $100 worth of restaurant gift cards. I propose that each of us, create a website or a Facebook group where we can promote this idea that we don't sell, we spend. Here's a few that I've set up: tcbarter.com, realtc. Let's look at them. tcbarter.com, where you can advertise for free that it doesn't go to another tab. Huh. Okay, so I've got to go to it on the, I'm going to go to those later then, because I don't want to get off on my notes. There's tcbarter.com. There's realtc.org, where you can advertise real estate. There's tradeaweek.org, where you can advertise your vacation rentals. And there's aztecc.com, where you can purchase various products with Hex. Again, no matter what you're buying, you can offer to pay them with Hex or PulseX. And that's introducing them to the economy, and that's not creating selling pressure. The price is not going down. When you transfer from your account to your dentist account, it doesn't affect the price at all. We spent months or years waiting for the various projects to launch. We wait for the gains. And what's the first thing that 99% of the people do when they see the green candles? Cash out. What does that do to the rest of us that didn't sell? Our value went down. If I've got $100,000 worth of crypto and I sell $10,000 worth of it, you'd think that I have $90,000 worth left, but I don't, because the price went down because I was selling 100,000, sell 10,000. I might only have 85,000 left now, because by selling 10,000, it went down by more than 10,000. So if we're sitting around waiting for the day that we can sell, we're in the wrong game. We're in the wrong philosophy. We should be sitting around waiting for the day that we can spend it. And how are we going to make that happen? By offering it. Offer it to your lawnmower guy. Offer it to your landscaper. Offer it to your, you know what I'm talking about. You go through the list. So we have ProveX that we can use. We have Hex that we can use. And as long as we're not selling and we're spending it, there's not a price dump. If you sell, you're hurting the project. You hurt the community. You hurt yourself. You got $100,000 worth, you sell $10,000 worth, you don't have 90,000 left, because by selling, you made the price go down. So the 90,000 you got left isn't even worth 90,000 anymore. And my 90,000 isn't worth 90,000 anymore. And his 90,000 and her 90,000 isn't worth 90,000 anymore. By selling, we hurt the entire community. Why is the Hex price down? Somebody is selling. Stop selling. Start spending. That's what I say. So what's the alternative? Barter. Spend it. Don't sell it. Go trade it instead of selling it. And what are they going to do with it? You're going to need to show them that they can trade it instead of selling it also. I need to show myself. I need to show you. And ProveX helps us because it makes it so that you can transfer person to person, peer to peer, account to account without selling. That's wonderful. ProveX is the greatest invention ever because now I know that if I send somebody payment, I'm going to get what I got coming. I'm not sure exactly how ProveX works yet. I'm listening, I'm learning, but the general idea is it gives me a way to pay somebody and make sure I get what I paid for. So now we have two powerful tools in our hands right now. We have Hex and we have ProveX. And if we just not sell them and spend them instead of selling, we're good. So I encourage you, make a Facebook group, start a Twitter account, start a YouTube channel, and talk about what people can buy with their Hex. Go to realtc.org and advertise your real estate for rent. Accept rent in Hex. Or if you're going to go rent a place, offer them. I'll pay you half the rent in Hex. You can go to tradeaweek.org and you can advertise your vacation rentals. You can look for vacation rentals. You can go to aztecc.com and you can buy products with Hex or other cryptocurrency. You can go to tcbarter.com. tcbarter.com is where you can list your name, what you have, what you want for free. And I have Hex and I want Hex. And besides that, I want my car fixed. I want a vacation. I want to go on I want a motorcycle. I want an SUV. When you go to buy a motorcycle, tell them, okay, you're asking $1,000. I'll give you 800 cash and 200 in Hex. What's Hex? Oh, now you've got a chance to onboard him, right? Tell him all about it. Maybe he'll take the whole 1,000 in Hex once he gets so excited. So how do they work together? Well, we're going to learn that. We're going to learn how ProveX is used to actually make sure you get what you paid for. So how does barter help ProveX? Well, we talked about that. We don't have to go over that again. So I'm going to go to my next tab and share. Let me see, how do I change tabs now so you can see a different tab? Stop screen, start screen again. What am I forgetting, Harris? Don't be afraid to speak up. Let's see, share screen. Which one is this one? Okay, let's look at this one. Here's tcbarter.com. You can see there's restaurant gift cards you can buy. You can get $500 worth of gasoline or merchandise at Costco with your Hex. You can get Amazon gift cards. Here's restaurants. How do I get around here? Here's a list of restaurants where you can get gift cards available and buy it with your Hex. You go to the TC Barter store and you can get any of these restaurants and buy it with your Hex. And it's not selling it. And by the way, if you've got a crypto-based a crypto-based debit card or credit card, that's selling. Well, how do they pay? What's the coffee company I'm thinking of? How do they pay Starbucks when you go in to buy a cup of coffee with a crypto-based credit card or debit card? Visa sells your crypto and gives Starbucks cash. That's selling. If you're shopping with a crypto-based credit card or debit card, you're selling. You're helping the price go down. If you go in with a gift card that you bought from tcbarter.com that's good for Starbucks, you're not selling. You transferred your Hex or whatever to the tcbarter.com store and you got a gift card and you go in and use the gift card, your crypto never got sold. TC Barter puts it in inventory. If somebody wants to go back the other way, they can get some Hex going the other way. There's no selling going on. There's Costco, there's Costco gasoline, Costco merchandise, Amazon, all these different restaurants. Here's some cars that are for sale for Hex or whatever you got. And there's 3,500 people listed here. And guess what it costs? Nothing, zero. You can go to tcbarter.com right now and list, I have Hex and here's what I want. And you can start talking to your people about what you got to offer. There's also these other websites. Let's see. This is difficult. I'm not used to StreamYard as to how to share. here, I'll go stop sharing and then share a different tab, I guess. Stop screen, share a different tab. So let's see, this one is, here's some products that are available for sale for Hex or crypto. And again, you go to tcbarter.com and get a gift card, and you can get supplements for your farm, for your animals. You can get all these different things. Go shopping. And that's not selling, because you're not getting cash. You're not getting Ethereum. You're not getting USDC. You're getting products. You're getting dental work, auto repairs. See, this is weird. I don't know why I can't just jump to another screen, but I guess I got to do it this way. I use Zoom. I don't use StreamYard, so I'm not used to this. Let's see. Here's one for vacation accommodations. You want to rent a place for a week or a month? Next time you go rent a place, tell them, hey, how about pay you half the rent in Hex? They're going to say, what's that? You're going to tell them, what's that? And you didn't sell it. You spent it. Great, huh? Hey, Harris, aren't you going to speak up today? Leaving this all to me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, you were trying to talk.
I was speaking.
You're muted.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Get a little closer to the mic. It's a little quiet.
Okay. So, yeah, I just want to say, for spending, we have to have a team. Like we've been saying that for a very long time. We, like a green team. Like if I talk about myself, like I'm a part of green team, where we have, we like one token and we decide not to sell on exchange, and we spend on great things. Like I've been seeing on your screen at tcbarter.com, we have a lot of things, a lot of services, a lot of products that we can use our crypto. It could be Hex, ProveX, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or for me, I particularly like ETH on Pulse chain, and we use these tokens to spend on goods, on gift cards, on any services. We have many things available on tcbarter.com. So that's we need to have a marketplace. So for the marketplace, we have like tcbarter.com. We just need to make some noise for TC Barter, make some awareness to the Hex community. They need to know about the marketplace, because I've invested like $10,000 in Hex. It was on I've got like 600,000 Hex tokens, and after all selling and dumping from the people, I've only got like $900. It's only for $900 now. And I haven't sold a single Hex token. So have selling on exchanges, on these centralized exchanges, always crash the price. So yeah, you have a great concept of like spending on things, on goods and services.
There's only one thing that makes the price go down. What is it? Selling. There's only one thing that keeps the price from going down. Hold on to it or transfer it to another account, P2P, peer-to-peer. So the answer is for us to create an enthusiastic community of people who are willing to get paid in Hex. There's two ways to get Hex. You can buy it or you can earn it. You can earn it by fixing cars. You can earn it by fixing roofs. You can advertise in your Facebook group, I will accept Hex as payment for fixing your roof. They're going to call up and they're going to say, what's Hex? What do you mean? And you got to explain to them. Oh, okay. Get some Hex. Crazy, right? To me, it just drives me nuts. I've been watching this for how many years now? Since 2017, 18, roughly 2019. And I'm like you. I'm old faithful. I got plenty of Hex, and I'm going to hang on to it until people learn to stop selling it, until people learn to start spending it. Let's spend it. Let's not sell it. Right?
PSA, everyone. there's ways to not sell your hex, as in not click the sell button.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. How are we on time, Max? How long are we supposed to go?
Getting close. Next speaker's coming up here in just a few minutes, but yeah, I wanted to I just wanted to say to Harris too, like just the story of putting 10K into hex and then being down now. Again, hopefully hex turns around and we're all in the ecosystem. We're very much especially people been here for a while. We and if you call it the last conversation with me and SJ, really hope that this ecosystem is able to just start, flying at some point, and hopefully you get some mad gains out of that hex purchase. A lot of people are down right now.
If we onboard people by offering to pay them with hex, they're going to know what hex is, and they're going to say, "Okay, I'll try that." And then when things start to go up, they're going to say, "Hey, wait, it's going up. I'm going to buy some more." There's only two ways to get hex, buy it or earn it, and there's only two ways that to protect it, to be good to it, to be a loyal patriot. We either hold on to it or we transfer it peer to peer. No selling, no decentralized exchange, no cashing out, but spend it instead. If we all start spending it instead of selling it, it's not going to go down. And if we onboard people by trading a little hex, it's going to expand the market. It's onboarding people.
I think hopefully peer-to-peer is going to make a big comeback.
Excuse me?
I said I hope peer-to-peer makes a big comeback. I think that used to be much bigger than it is today. Now it's like, oh, centralize everything and so much control. And even Bitcoin was a peer-to-peer Bitcoin. It's not, or local Bitcoins. I think they shut down or something too. It's like, man.
And PulseX is going to help us with that.
Yeah, I think ProveX is gonna.
Oh, excuse me, ProveX.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy one. Yeah, hopefully ProveX is we're gonna have some pretty cool order matching peer-to-peer marketplace on that, and should be interesting.
You want to protect your value? Don't hit that sell button. Offer it to your landscaper. Offer it to your babysitter. Offer it to your house cleaner. Hey, can I pay you half with hex? What's that? Oh, here, let me show you.
There you go. That's one way. Hopefully onboarding becomes much easier to do that with when people are super excited about crypto. Sounds like you've been in hex for a long time. The story about the 400 turning into 500,000 and staked and all that's amazing. And yeah, like I said, Harris is hopefully we can all get some mad gains with hex this time and ProveX and Pulse Chain and everything else. But appreciate you both coming on. Nice to meet you. And thanks for coming to the conference.
Don't sell, spend it.
That's good. All right. Thanks, Donald. Thanks, Harris.
See you guys later.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's go. More community member. I love meeting new people too. That's awesome. Really, really fun. But someone who's not new, who's been on the show before, who's been streaming themselves, seen some of their content before. MCB Crypto is coming up next. What are we going to do for transition? Let's do dance.
Let's see if they talk to Kendrick Lamar one time. Hey, I'm a drummer, sir. Somebody from a level, somebody listen, nigga, listen, family, listen, mama, count it. I'm a shower, my count it. I'm just coming this. I say, with my DJ, fully in the music, girl, like a fire, westy girl, with my taste buds. Ooh, that pussy good, like you said, it on my taste buds. I can't wait to be with you. She got that booty bitch. Pull up on you, like you think you got me playing Tetris. And you feel the beat to the damn floor. If I drop your beat, you just got to hate them for. If I quit your beat, I'm extra loud, say it's for.
Welcome back to the conference. MCB Crypto. Whoa, look at that. Look at the lasers. Got some lasers. Nice. I like that.
Audio check, sound check. How are you doing, brother? Good morning from here in the Philippines. It's 7:15 here in the Philippines. So I think I'm on time, right?
You are perfectly. You're doing good.
Awesome.
Welcome back. Great. I loved your I think a lot of people really liked your last session at the conference. I think it was either Hex Week or PulseX conference. Yeah, that was really cool. So, and always great to meet people from all over the world. So shout out to the Philippines, and thanks for getting up and coming out this morning.
Yeah, man. So it's a pleasure to be here, brother. Yeah. As I was saying, I am an original OG Haxican, a Polsican, right? So I want to reach out the Filipinos around the globe, teaching them how to do crypto the right way. It's been my battle cry since, yeah, man, most of us really are into MLMs of stuff, right? So, yeah, I want to reach out to the Filipino community and yeah, to be of great help to them and adding value to the community as usual, right? So again, yeah, thanks for having me on the show. And again, such a pleasure to be here for the first ever ProveX conference of 2026. Even though I have a dissenting opinion on this one, but yeah, I will try to explain it later.
It's all yours, man. It's all yours. So talk about the sacrifice, anything ProveX. Yeah, take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother. So again, good morning, good evening. Again, this is your man MacB Crypto. Yeah, if welcome to Muffler Town. If you're gonna hear some mufflers in my background, then you will know that is your man, MacB Crypto, and not an AI. Again, big shout out and big kudos to RH Max for doing this thing. So, yeah, man, it is really my pleasure to be here and represent the Filipinos, right? So, I think there are a couple of guys talking about, sorry. Hi, hello guys. So yeah, man, I'm very sorry. There's really noise in my background, but as I was saying, yeah, it's really a pleasure to be here. I was with the previous conference, right, with Pulse X, with RH Max. Again, I do the show. I'm doing, by the way. Let me take this opportunity for the Filipinos who are watching, for the international who are watching. If you have friends who are Pinoys or Filipinos abroad and around the globe, yeah, you can catch me now. Let me take this opportunity that they can catch me on every Tuesday and Thursday with my CRT and CTU, in which I'll be talking in my native language in Filipino, right, in Tagalog, Bisaya, and Waray, reaching out to the Pinoy communities, right, to touch ikababayan vibe to my fellow kababayan, or should I say, to my fellow Pinoys around the globe. So it's a really a pleasure to be here and to be part of the conversation of ProveX. So I think this will just be a short one in which I will be on the dissenting side of things, right? Let me be clear, right? I am for tech neutrality, right? For ProveX as a technology, as a utility, as a platform, as a software or protocol. I am not against it per se, right? What I'm trying to say is with regards to the ProveX, the sacrifice. So I will be dealing with the sacrifice itself, right? And there are like 2 points that I just want to mention here. And the last one, I'll just having my summary on things. The that is something that came up of my head when doing some other sacrifice, right? Or should I say another sacrifice? So if we understand there were a lot of sacrifices, right? Not just with Pulse or Pulse chain, right? But also, if you can say that adoption amplifier with Hex could be also called a sacrifice with different narrative that being used during the early days of the adoption amplifier of Hex, right? So I could not, I could not hear my audio and I don't know if you can hear my audio. Audio sound check. I think I'm really live. So as I was saying, so there's so many narratives and there had so many sacrifice, not just from Pulse Chain, from other projects, right? So I know there are projects who had not been having those sacrifice on other tokens on their platform. So I'm gonna delving on that one. And there are 2 points that I want to point out here, right? So first and foremost, we have the capital flows or the capital flow of tokenomics of things, right? Not the tokenomics on a white paper or in a ProveX having this 2% buy and burn. Yeah, you have buy and burn and whatnot. But I'm talking about the capital flow, right? So during let me take you back of 2018 when Richard Hart was talking about Hex, right? So we have to understand that those who have made it, or should I say, and I'm very sorry, guys. Again, this is the muffler town. We have to deal with it. I'm very sorry, those one who are in headset, right? You could really see the mufflers. Yeah, I'm literally living across the street. I'm very sorry. I always say that on my stream. Anyway, having said that, so those who have made it to 2017-18, right? They have sacrificed, or should I say, enter the adoption amplifier for Hex for almost 1 year, right? So it was like basically for us to enter into the adoption amplifier, it's more of a Hex type, right? So they say Ethereum token that is being used in the adoption amplifier, right? So those have made it to 2018. You have capital flow or capital rotation, right? Capital flow with economics or capital rotation into the adoption amplifier, right? Those who have made it on the 2021 bull market have that capital rotation flow into pulse chain sacrifice, right, of 2023, and later on, yeah, we have the capital flow 2021, they have sacrificed that one for 2023, later on 2 more weeks into 2 years, right? So what I'm saying this, right? So as I was saying, I have 2 points that I have to say this one. We have the capital flow rotation of tokenomics, right? And I also have the legal clarity on the tokens with the amicus brief, and especially with the SEC, right? So let me try to prove these things before going into the summary, before ending my talk on this conference, right? So having said that, I would rather have it with ProveX, right? Let me be clear, and let me be abundantly clear on this one. Sa aking mga kababayan po, gusto ko lang pong klaruhin po na hindi po tayo against ProveX with its technology, the things that it's gonna bring on the table, the utilities of it, in which wala nang centralized exchanges, right? The technology is there, and there's nothing we can do about ProveX's sacrifice since it's a done deal. You have 400 million, right? But having said that, with capital flow, right? Having mentioned capital flow, you have to understand that it was open to other EVM chains. As you can see, there are just like 16 million. It's just peanuts, right? With almost close to a billion with other previous sacrifices, right? With Pulse, right? And other sacrifices with PulseX, right? So as you can see, I would rather have it a more capital flow coming from other chains, right? So for me, as a gauging for us to really reach out to other communities, improving ProveX, right, as a utility platform for people to not to go to centralized exchanges. Which brings me also to my second point, right? In which the legal clarity of things, right? So legal clarity of things, there could be a possibility that, yeah, might as well we will be having another legal battle with ProveX, right? So people will be filing cases. This can be a disgruntled sacrificers for ProveX. What I'm saying is, we could have a platform like a ProveX D app or extension app on a web browser without having another token, right? That is my point. Not to have another, yeah, right, delusion that will happen to us as we have another token. What I'm saying is, we have now legal clarity of Pulse, Hex, and PulseX, right? I would rather have this token being used as a fee for the ProveX platform, not the ProveX the sacrifice, right? So not the ProveX as a token, another token, right? So I would rather have seen the ProveX sacrifice having not to have another token, right? So I would rather having the clarity or the legal clarity of Pulse, Hex, INC, and hoping those three tokens have being used for the platform or for the extension of ProveX, right? The what do you want to what you ever you want to call it, the app or extension on our web, in which we can exchange directly without the exchanges, right, or the CFI exchanges. So basically, those are the things that I want to say to the community, right? In which some other platforms have been doing that, right? With True DeFi, they're using PLS, right? I think Neil was here, right? With FlexDex, right? They're using Hex as a token for the fees, right? So I would rather have more utilities with the tokens that we have that had legal clarity, right? So yeah, man, these are the things that yeah, I want to put out there, and I think that is just a short conversation for this conference that I want to bring out to the community, right? So yeah, I could be wrong on certain things, but yeah, man, I just want to put it out there that yeah, I would rather have it the things that we have, the token, right? Or should I say the token or the coin that we have legal clarity being used on ProveX, the D app, right? Not the token, for us to use to add more utility on our existing tokens, right? So yeah, man, I'm very sorry. Oh, guys, I have to mute my mic. So again, there's so many muffler. Again, welcome to Muffler Town. Oh, this is anyway. Having said that, yeah, indeed. So these are the things that yeah I want to say and to make a summary of this one, right? So I know I have 15 minutes on this one. So to make a summary on this one, if we're gonna do right some other sacrifice, please let's not do that anymore. No more. I think we have a sacrifice fatigue already, right? So capital flowing just into other projects, right? And as you can see, there's a 16 million, and you can see on the sacrifice set, or should I say the leaderboard, just mostly from the community. I would rather have seen other communities from Binance, from Avalanche, or other L2, today from Ethereum, Binance, right? From other L1 sacrificing on ProveX, right? So yeah, man, if you wanna ask you this one, please let's not have any more sacrifice, right? If we are be doing some other stuff, upgrading some adding utilities on our L1, we're having this kind of extension, which is ProveX. I would rather have it our own code tokens which has or which had legal clarity by the SEC in the US, which is Pulse X, and Hex, right? So yeah, man, these are the things that yeah I want to put out there, and might as well be. I hope I could be heard by RH and the dev team, behind ProveX, right? So I would rather have it because TrueDefi had been using PLS, right? They don't have any token platform. FlexDex, I think RH have a debate with the developer, right? I forgot the name. Tantu. I don't want to murder his name, but anyway, the guy is cool in building stuff, right? So he has this um lucky base, right? So I would rather have it building on the stuff that is already existing and legal that has also a legal clarity. In Filipino po, who are watching right now, sa mga Pinoys abroad who are watching, sana po maintindihan po na to natin po that ProveX as a extension po is gagamitin po siya as a peer-to-peer, should I say, of exchanging without going into centralized exchanges. Sa aking mga Pinoy communities, mga Filipinos who are watching, you are in the right track. If you're seeing this, right, you are on the right path. You're on the right track, right? With our hard-earned monies, right? Let's not put it on MLM type of stuff, right? Or MLM type of cryptos. Crypto in the first place is not MLM. So if you are hearing this, I am a OG Hexican and an OG Pulsican, right? On the block. I've been doing this for like since 2018 before Hex launch. And the point also I'm making here is, yeah, for our hard-earned Filipino, hard-earned money of my kababayans or Filipinos overseas, right? That they will not be scammed. Right now, if you're gonna sacrifice, again, for other stuff, I would rather not have it to have another 80, should I say, sacrifice. Now, if we're gonna do some other iteration, or should I say another utilities that will be being built for Pulse X and whatnot, I would rather have it use the core tokens, right? That has legal clarity. So I think that is just my talk for this conference, especially with the Prove X, the sacrifice. Let me be clear again. I am not against ProveX, the utility to the D app, the extension, for us to really to have no middleman and to directly just exchange, right? As with the previous speaker, like with barter, DC barter, right? So I think it's a good utility they're bringing on the table, and for in which you could use your hex to buy these goods, right? That might as well add some services also on that one, right? So these are points that I want to mention on this ProveX conference. I know this is a ProveX conference, and I was saying with RX Wax that yeah, I'll be dealing with I will be speaking on the dissenting side. So big thank you Arts for having me on this one.
Awesome. Thank you, McB Crypto. Appreciate the perspective. And yeah, it's sacrifices are, I never thought we'd have another one, but we did. And yeah, hopefully the future is bright for the ecosystem, whichever way it goes. Yeah. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I know you're a perma bull on this one. I could really share your vibe. Even though some people have been cringe with our post that yeah, they've been mentioning you have a ProveX sacrifice, even ProveX conference, even though we don't still have the token, right? But yeah, man.
I don't mind. This is to
promote
the tech, promote the coin, promote the ecosystem, get everyone together. So whether we have the tech or not, the token, that's
yeah, man. I understand. But what I'm saying, right? People have been saying that yeah, even though Jesus Christ has not come, people have been mentioning about Jesus Christ, about the second coming of Jesus Christ, right? So just the same with ProveX, we're just vibing, we're telling people what we are doing, right? So again, man, big kudos to you. I know you're doing a great job, and thank you for having me on the show, brother. For this conference.
Yeah, of course. Have a good one.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Let me do.
Oops. Oh, go ahead.
Let me do this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, see ya. That's awesome. Lasers are pretty cool. Lasers be cool. All right, I think we're gonna take a break after this one because we had a slot for community panel, but yeah, I think all of our speakers are probably pretty tired at this point. We've been going all day long, so I think I'm going to take a break as well. So I don't know. Let's see. I think we're going to, yeah, I think we're just going to have a break. We'll have some time before Fast comes back at 7:30 Eastern, and we wrap it up for what's next. But yeah, I think we're going to take about an hour break. And yeah, try to get all the slots filled as best as possible. But yeah, I think we're gonna take a break and we'll be back in a bit. So hang in there, and I'll see you all soon. And we're back. Surprise, surprise. We are back. Was going to take a quick break and then come back to wrap up with Fast, but I'm going to see if he's available now. So we can. Just a second. ProveX. Who's still ProveX? And actually, I'll go through a couple different things, I think, for what is next. Let me put this back on the screen. So, yeah, I still think that the air season piece, I think that's going to be interesting, where I don't quite know if we're going to see ProveX launch, if we're going to get some pumps like air season being, Richard's talked about, I don't care about, what do you say? I don't care about all season. I care about air season, pulse chain season. So I still think an interesting scenario would be, we start pumping, we start seeing things move, liquidity, all this stuff, bridge activity, all that. And then we have a ProveX launch, and then we get RH live stream and all that. So that could be super interesting. As far as we talked a little bit about what it'll look like. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. I still don't know if it's going to be, the MetaMask fork. It's going to be just a separate browser extension, all that. But I do know that it's coming, and it'll be here at some point. When it gets here, boy, the token, the trading, the liquidity. I mean, a lot of uncertainty in the markets right now, but I think it could be interesting. I'm excited for the product. I'm trying to think what we haven't talked about today at the conference. We talked about the tokenomics. Shout out to Fast, MVP of the conference, just putting in the work. His voice, he's talked probably more than I have. My voice is going to go at some point as well. Tokenomics, launch predictions, or launch options, I guess. Yeah, again, who knows what's going to happen with the market. Got some different opinions around that. The interface, the tech side. Again, ZK-P2P is the fork. So if you do ZK-P2P, and they're rebranding to Peer, peer.xyz. Crypto in seconds for less. Open the app. Yeah, pay using Venmo. So even looking at this, just check this out. Just imagine it's got this is could the interface look like this? Is there a web interface that looks like this, or just the browser extension? Just think about this like a little dialog box. Do we see you be able to buy and send, be matched with orders and stuff? And it just got hey, and it costs this much ProveX. You get a little thing here. This is how much ProveX token you need to do it. Venmo, you got Cash App, all these different pieces. Boom, Fast Abdul's in. Glad you saw it. He's here for the tech.
I did.
You're back. Sorry for the confusion. Sorry for the confusion. I know it's I was going to take the break, then I'm like, you know what? Why not just get it done now? So, anyways. I was talking about what actually stumbled across. I actually went to the website Fast Abdul, went to peer.xyz, and Great. I looked at the options of the product that's already launched, that we are apparently a fork of, and it looks pretty cool. You use this, right?
Yep.
Right. Kind of looks like Liberty Swap actually when I'm looking at it. Let's do Liberty Swap. Yeah.
I like how it has direct connections with Cash App and Venmo. I think we need to get all that stuff done too. That's the real world handshaking part. We'll be, making some of those deals, I imagine.
Oops. Is it Liberty Swap to XYZ? Is that not?
Liberty Swap.
Oh, .fi? Liberty Swap .fi?
Yeah, Liberty Swap. Let me go. I always take it directly from their X.
That's true. Good security.
Yeah, I don't even trust my memory
when
it comes to things. Yeah,
.finance. There we go. Yeah, it looks remarkably similar to when I click on one of these. Well, actually, hold on. Where was that? I thought I saw, or maybe I went to, maybe not Liberty Swap. Then what is the what's the other? Wasn't there some way to do? Man, it's been a while since I looked at the onboarding piece. Wasn't there a way to do, like, maybe it was a ZKP2B. Maybe there's a different interface or something. It kind of does look similar too, but
it looks like one of the bridges to Pulse Chain. Not there. There's another one that's listed on the Pulse Chain website. It has a similar feel to that.
Yeah, one of these I thought maybe used in conjunction with Liberty Swap.
Could be.
Let's see, Gibbs Finance, Liberty Swap. Maybe it was
maybe Gibbs Finance.
Let me see. Because this one supports, this one has ZKP2B here. So if you go there, I don't know. Maybe it was ZKP2B. Maybe when I was trying out ZKP2B before or playing with it, I saw that it looks like the rebrand appear. Anyways, this looks cool. And you can do different currencies and platforms and connections and all that stuff. But how much handshaking do you think they did to support these? Like, what do you actually need to do? It's not like they called Bank of America and were like, hey, we want to do Zelle stuff, did they? Or were they just like, there's an API?
I would think there probably has to be some sort of conversation on some of these. Like PayPal for sure is, there has to be some sort of account set up, though some of them might just be open source enough you can just hook up to their API. That's possible. But I feel like these ones that touch real money, there's probably some sort of KYC contact process before you can just list it. But hard to say for sure. We don't need all of them, but like of the ones on that list, right? Like I would think we'd want to have at least 3. And what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, like if we could get 3 of the 7, like it would probably be enough.
And here we would see. So again, this could be the web interface. So the browser extension? We go there.
Liberty Swap could maybe be one of the things on the list, right? Like other protocols that serve these kind of purposes could interact with ProveX and maybe bridge that gap if they were the ones that were connected with Venmo and stuff like that, right? Like there's ways where it wouldn't necessarily have to be directly connected to ProveX and still do the job. Just route through something else that is connected to ProveX. So Liberty Swap, for example, makes a deal with PayPal and Venmo, and then via the Liberty Swap option on ProveX, you'll be able to interact with those, like stuff like that.
And here's the browser extension. It looks like an image of it or a transaction going through. Kind of looks similar to the mock-up that I showed earlier too. That it was just kind of got AI to kind of look and think about and generate what it could look like. But select the payment, send on Venmo, verifying payment, on ramp, get it on, get USDC on base, all that stuff. Tokens, yeah. This, of course, I don't know. Do you think with ProveX it'll look like, oh, you're going to get, Ethereum? Is it going to be all Pulse Chain based, or you're going to be able to, I can buy Solana but I got to spend my ProveX token? Like, what do you think?
I think there's like the low-lying fruit would be to have it be multi-chain, right? Like especially cross-chain, right? So like being able to move from Solana to Pulse Chain via this mechanism, or from Solana to Ethereum, because like if it's taking a fee and that fee is buying and burning the token, like I don't really care where they do it as long as the token's main home is Pulse Chain. So that's why I think there could be liquidity on other chains to help facilitate that buy and burn. But like you'd be even if they had no intention of coming on Pulse Chain, they'd be touching Pulse Chain by using ProveX. So I don't think it should be throttled to just be Pulse Chain. That would limit a lot of things. Like it should be as many chains as possible and as many services as possible, and as open to as many builders on as many chains as possible.
I'm trying to think too, like we went over what it could look like, tokenomics, the different, when it's going to launch, different pieces like that. What haven't we touched on? That you think we should touch on before we wrap this up, and just kind of let people walk away with, okay, I understand what ProveX is supposed to do. I understand the bullish scenarios for it. What are people missing that we haven't expressed so clearly or want to reiterate?
I think that the concepts of like, what ProveX could do could be explored more, right? Like a lot of things could be built on top of this, and that could be, change the way people look at crypto, right? So like we went over the OTC exchanges, like over the counter exchanges, on ramping with ProveX, like so right from your fiat bank account. But like the concepts like like subscription services, auto renewals, right? Like these are trillion-dollar industries that like don't really have a good resource right now. So if there was a way that we could incorporate those into it, that would be huge. And I think there is a way to do these things, right? Like from what I understand, like the code is meant to be built upon, and it could be used to connect anything from Web 2 to Web 3. So like that covers like identity verification things, which like as the world gets a little more 1984-ish is probably going to be a thing. But if we can minimize that by like, okay, I verify I'm an adult, but like, and I live in this country, but you still don't know my name and you still don't know my date of birth, like we're able to preserve more of our personal identity. And I think that kind of stuff is going to be important. It's going to be something people are willing to play for. The concepts of like receipts that are fraud proof is going to be big. AI and detecting whether something is AI, some sort of verification via that is going to be huge, right? And ProveX could play a role in that. Like if there's some sort of web signature that says this is an AI, and ProveX can prove that signature is there. And then like if once we start really connecting things like traditional lending and credit systems, right? So with crypto systems like that, there's going to be a whole shift. So like in traditional finance, like okay, you can have Visa, MasterCard, you can take out a loan, you can secure it against your house, you can have it be unsecured based on your credit rating. Like all those things aren't really in crypto, but they could be, right? Like because if like you could have a crypto service that would like be able to essentially put a lien against your house, you could borrow against your house in crypto directly, and ProveX could be the pathway to that. You could even have something like, and this like I don't think this is going to happen tomorrow, but like you could have the equivalent of Visa or MasterCard where you have like unsecured loans based on your reputation via your credit rating, right? Where ProveX was the thing that verified, yes, this is the person taking the loan. Yes, this is their credit rating. And you'd be like, okay, I want to borrow $3,000 in Ethereum, but I don't have any money on chain right now. Can I just borrow it? Yes, you can, because you have a credit rating of 800, and ProveX has proved that. So like the scale of those things, if they were to be put in place, is so huge. And if ProveX captures even 1% of that market, like it could completely change the landscape. And and the buy and burn would be truly ridiculous, right? Like if this thing has $1 trillion that goes through it, right, and like it ends up burning millions of dollars of tokens off the market out of what probably will be a reasonably small amount of liquidity initially, it could blow up. And the other thing we didn't really go through is other people will build on top of it just on Pulse Chain. Like there'll be added utility via farming. Like, I'm sure there'll be Fux farms. I'm sure there'll be PulseX farms. I'm building a stablecoin protocol that will use ProveX as collateral. Like there's going to be a lot of things with this new token, even without building on top of the protocol itself. So, to say that like an additional Richard Hart token with utility is small, like it won't be small, even if all it does is get traded, it's still going to be huge for us, but it's going to be a lot more.
Let's go. I'm excited to see it whenever it comes, when ready.
Yeah.
And if anyone's just tuning in, feel free to rewind. There's been a ton of conversation. Fast Abdul for MVP of the conference, putting in the work. Appreciate you, man. And the people, you should know everything you need to know about ProveX by listening to the conversation we've had today and the content being put out there by all the creators and builders in the community. So Fast, take it from here. Appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. Thanks, man.
My pleasure.
Yep. Fast Abdul, everyone. Showing up multiple sessions, really, really helping contribute to the conference as well. great stuff. Again, this is, you do the work. We're putting in the work here. This is what, year 3 been streaming, year 4. Yeah, I've been streaming for almost going on 4 years, 3.5, almost 4 years. And yeah, as me and SJ talked about earlier too, if you're interested in the mission of the community, what Richards wants to do, what a lot of people are trying to spread the word about, you've got plenty of content, plenty of conversations to go through. You can follow, I think everyone at the conference either has X, or they're building projects, or they have websites, or they have all these things too. So just reach out, have these conversations, ask questions. A lot of people are active on X, and we'll can get you more information. So we'll wrap it up for the conference. Appreciate you all. Great work participating. Great work joining us. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. I'll send you out with the awesome ProveX intro/outro. Shout out to Pulsewave Vibe. And yeah, until next time, ProveX Conference 2026 is complete. Hopefully we'll see token, a product, and some mad gains in 2026. Well, we'll see. Best of luck, everyone.
ProveX locked in under shield. ProveX locked in under shield.